Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And with you on our side, we are going to end animal cruelty around the globe. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Even for Texas, it's hot. Austin Mayor Kirk Watson.
This is the type of heat we generally don't start seeing until July. It's unwelcome and it's unwanted, but it's here.
And it will stick around for days. It will feel like summer from the Dakotas to many parts of the South, and many records will be set. In the Mid-Atlantic, torrential rains yesterday.
Rivers and creeks swollen by 5 inches of rain spilled over their banks. Schools were flooded in western Maryland. A 12-year-old boy was washed away by floodwaters in Albemarle County, Virginia. Searchers believe they found his body this morning. Shane Smith is the mayor of Myersdale, Pennsylvania.
This is some of the most severe flooding we have ever seen.
Myersdale Fire Chief Mike Miller says they've made a lot of water rescues.
Please don't drive through the water. It puts your life in danger, puts our life in danger.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing some angry lawmakers today on Capitol Hill over his cuts to the workforce, grants, and other programs. There were protests, too.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated.
A federal judge has ordered a Georgetown scholar released from detention, as Matt Piper reports.
Badr Khansouri was detained, Trump administration officials say, because of social media posts and his wife's connection to Gaza as a Palestinian American. He was arrested by masked officers in Virginia nearly 2 months ago. Asta Sharma Pakral is an attorney at the Center for Constitutional Rights.
The message from the court today is that the government cannot arrest, it cannot incarcerate people, it cannot rip them away from their families just for standing in solidarity with Palestinians.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
President Trump met today with Syria's new leader, a man who once had a $10 million U.S. bounty on his head. He was also once an al-Qaeda fighter in Iraq. Now many believe he's the best hope for Syria. Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
The president was willing to go into that meeting at the urging of the Saudis and others here in the Middle East who are really hoping that this new chapter for Syria works out and makes things safer for everyone in the region.
Now in Qatar, President Trump is signing more business deals. CBS's Natalie Brand reports.
Big news for Boeing today. Qatar has agreed to buy 160 Boeing jets valued at around $200 billion. That's the largest deal in the history of Boeing.
On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrials are down 71 points. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
A child dies from fentanyl found in his own home. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Bellevue, a disabled vehicle's blocking a lane on I-90 eastbound near Richards Road. Just a little localized slowing there. You had a disabled vehicle and construction in Ken slowing you a bit on northbound I-5. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle is 39 minutes, about 10 longer than typical. Everett to Seattle is 43 minutes, also about 10 minutes longer. Rain contributing to a lot of slowdowns today. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. A 5-year-old Pierce County boy has died from fentanyl he was exposed to in his own home. And his aunt and uncle tell KIRO 7 TV they repeatedly warned authorities about unsafe conditions there.
They should do more, CPS should do more, and anybody that went into that home and saw his living conditions and didn't call is also part of the problem.
I don't understand why nothing was done or why he wasn't removed from the home after so many calls.
The boy's mother, Jordan Shank, has been charged with first-degree manslaughter. A man wanted for firing an assault rifle at Thurston County deputies is now in custody. Body cam video shows deputies trying to arrest 27-year-old Damian Madison last week after he allegedly fired on them with an AR-15.
Step out of the car! Faster, step out of the car!
The Thurston County Sheriff says the FBI took 27-year-old Damian Madison and his mother into custody near the Nevada-California state line yesterday. A man with a history of child sex and animal cruelty crimes has been caught while on the run in Mason County. Deputies say they found 38-year-old David Williford climbing beams under the High Steel Bridge.
Just wait for a second, don't fall off. Just wait for us, David. I'm good.
Investigators say Williford was at his mother's West Seattle home under supervised release last week when he cut off his GPS tracker. King County Public Health is warning that a Canadian visitor was contagious with the measles while traveling to multiple places in King and Snohomish counties April 30th to May 3rd. Now, we've listed those locations at mynorthwest.com for you. If you're up to date on your vaccines, you should be protected. But what if your baby is too young to have all of his or her shots? KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson spoke with doctors.
If you have a baby under age 6 months, take steps to limit your baby's exposure. If you're breast or chest feeding, keep that up, though not a substitute for vaccination. Breastfeeding provides protective antibodies. Now, limiting a baby's exposure means washing your hands and making sure people around your baby or around your home also are up to date on their vaccination records.
2 of the recent measles cases in Washington state have infected babies. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs around 60. It is 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Happy Wednesday to you. Is it Wednesday?
It is already.
Wednesday. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Hey, my friend.
Spike, you were just asking a great question before we got on the air. Is it all new? With that sounder, is it all new?
Yeah, I feel like a little disingenuous, right?
Yeah, feels like a lie.
Newish? Can we say newish?
That is a lie.
How long can we play that card? A year? We got a year?
I mean, if it's still working, people still don't. People still think it's new.
You know, that's
people
true.
People like new things,
and we get to hear it every day.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of folks are just finding us, so it is all new.
A lot of folks are finding us. People enjoying the show. We thank you so much for tuning in. We enjoy hanging out with you every single day. It's a blast for us. If you want to participate, which is a lot of fun, 888-973-5476. Also on the YouTube page, our live stream. YouTube, search Jake and Spike, and you'll find our live feed. And you can also chat with us, which is a lot of fun. People are enjoying the chat portion of it. We also get a chance to watch some fun stuff together live, which is great. Tons of stuff to get to today. Can we start? This story is pretty wild with these teenagers.
Oh, the armed robbery.
The armed robbery.
It's got an interesting twist to it because
a strange twist. What
a
they
little
were
bit,
stealing.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So a bunch of teenagers. I'm going to read you from the SPD blotter. This was May 12th. So Monday night, 10 p.m. Seattle police officers respond to reports of an armed robbery. That's never fun. Obviously, you want to get ahead of that. They don't know who they're rolling up on either.
No.
They don't know. Just some teenagers, though, as it turns out. Police determined that one of the suspects stole several boxes of condoms from a mini mart. As he ran, do you think that was all they were trying to get? Was just condoms? It doesn't say that they took anything else. They just said they stole condoms.
There's some details missing from the story so far. It's clearly an armed robbery because when the shop manager chased the kids out of the store, they pointed a shotgun at a gun.
Pointed a gun.
A shotgun was confiscated when the police did eventually catch these perps.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if they tried to perps.
Condoms.
Both would have worked.
Perverts.
Well, I don't know. That might be the most responsible thing they did all night.
I don't know.
Stealing condoms.
Feels like a bad story all around.
I'm with you.
So these three teens, they ran from the store. One of his accomplices inside a getaway vehicle pointed a gun at the manager, who did try to chase. Outside. The manager called 911. Officers arrived, quickly broadcast a description of the vehicle and the suspects. A community response group located the vehicle and attempted a felony traffic stop. This is from SPD did this. They did a pit maneuver, were able to stop the car. That's where they bumped the...
and knock it off its line, right? The pit maneuver?
Yep.
Hit the back end, cause it to swerve a little bit? Yeah.
Officers arrested all three teens, all boys, transported them to the North Precinct for processing. Police also detained 3 underage girls, age 15 and 16, who were in the vehicle. Those girls might have gotten real lucky that everybody got arrested and they got out of a bad situation. I don't know what their situation was.
I don't either. There's a lot of unanswered questions about the situations. You know, the 3 guys, 3 girls in a car. They hit a local store to
stealing condoms.
Yikes! That from personal experience, I can tell you, as a young teenager, it's a embarrassing purchase. Right? First time you try to do that in a store, I remember first time you try to go in and buy condoms from a store.
I was not a smooth person with the ladies, so it was never even something I needed to be fearful of.
Oh, for me it was based purely on optimism.
This was a wish,
unrealistic optimism.
Yeah, this is a wish fulfillment situation for you.
Exactly. Well,
you just wanted the experience of buying one.
Better safe than sorry.
Blow it up like a balloon.
Maybe what's the expiration date on these? I got 5 years?
Yeah.
5 good years?
This might get used
someday. But
it is awkward.
Right?
Super awkward.
It's incredibly embarrassing, and maybe that's why they were trying to grab them and steal them.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's not like they were shoving them down their pants or something. No pun intended. They weren't shoplifting them. They grabbed and ran.
Horrible.
And the manager chased them out, and there's a gun.
Why is that? That is a thing. I mean, it is a responsible thing you're doing, and you're making sure that you're not. Right. I mean, a lot of married people use them.
Sure,
a lot of married people use them,
yeah.
but still, there is an awkwardness in buying.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things you don't want somebody to see you buying, and I don't know why that is. But there is a shame associated with it.
Well, or it's just uncomfortable.
Sinner.
People look, they look at you. They give you that look. Oh, okay.
Or they're judging you, and they're looking at you, and you're like, this guy's not having sex.
Well. Now I know what that look was.
Yeah.
I got that. That's my most recent look.
They kind of give you that look.
Yeah,
they
right.
They're kind of a half frown. They go, oh, that's sad.
That many?
Yeah, really.
But you can save money. You can buy these individually.
I think they sell them at Costco.
What's your return policy on these?
With receipt unopened. Right?
This ain't getting used. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. We laugh, but this is a story of teenagers feeling free to
these teens.
And not only did they point a gun at the shop owner.
Yeah.
Right? When they were chased by the cops, they then, put the car in reverse and backed into the cops. And as the cops detain these 3, they're belligerent, they're screaming, they're kicking the cop car.
Horrible. That's the other thing. They said they were screaming.
Yeah.
Listen, these guys.
And they're like, I'll be out by morning.
Yeah,
kind of junk, right?
What would your advice to these teens be? Both. Here's a good question for you. What would your advice be for them for the life choices they're currently making with regards to stealing things and pointing guns at people? That seems pretty obvious. But then also the advice about your attempted conquests.
Well,
But
that's a tough conversation to have. Is my kid one of these 3? Oh, Oh.
Wouldn't you feel horrible?
Horrible. And I feel like I'd failed as a parent. I was at a crossroads.
Absolutely.
It's time to have maybe the most important talk of my young son's life.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? Where do you think this takes you? What's your end game here?
It's nothing good.
Play this out. This is what you're doing. This is who you're running with.
Yeah.
Where's this taking you? Is that someplace you want to go? Is that where you want to be in life?
It's not
Is
where you want to go.
This is who you want to be?
No. I'd also I'd say to these kids, I'd be like, hey, guys, listen, I get it. You're all excited. You've obviously met some young ladies that you guys are hanging out with. That's a nice thing. But slow it down.
Right.
You know, slow it down. Why don't you just be friends for like a long time? Be friends.
Sure.
Make
Get
sure
to
that
know them.
Get to know them.
There you go.
You're making a lifetime decision
Where are we
here.
dreaming about how kids act these days?
I think more kids are. I don't think as many kids are doing that as people seem to think. Like if you just watch like a TV show, like, on popular media,
or catch the news highlights of only the bad instances of young adulthood.
Yeah.
Right. Growing into maturity. I mean, this. I love you, buddy. You got this talk coming down the trail for you.
I know.
I mean,
It's an awkward one.
repeatedly.
I know.
Did your dad? I was going to say.
Go for it.
No, I never had to talk with my dad.
You did. Your dad never talked to you about that?
Never. I got it from the streets, and I luckily
that's
for me.
where you don't want to get it.
I know.
You
I
don't
know.
want to get the sex talk
I didn't
from
get
the streets.
But I also got it. I got it in school. I got it in school.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, what story is that related to?
This one.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Sex ed in public.
Yeah,
school?
you know, I mean, where do you learn this kind of? Who gives you the guidance
if you don't
that
have
helps you at these life choice moments?
They're awkward conversations for parents, but you got to have them.
You got to have them. I never got it from my dad.
Kids.
Gave it to my girls.
And you probably said, well, I don't even know what you said exactly, but it's an awkward conversation. Awkward conversation.
It is.
Let's have it now.
No, it was. I tell you, it was awkward. I remember the gym teacher, who was, they separated the guys from the girls. They went to one class. We went to a different class.
Sure. And
here's Mr. Weibel in his polyester tight-fitting shorts.
Way too tight.
You know Coach's shorts. You know the type.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Whistle around his neck.
This is the 80s? Late 70s?
Late 70s.
Yeah.
Late 70s.
I'm just trying to get a mental picture of this sex
You
ed
know
talk.
the guy. Yeah, you know the guy. And it was
mustache? Long mustache?
No, Augie didn't have a mustache. No, he was crew cut. He was a
one.
crew cut guy. He was different. Think Newt Rockney, who never quite got there.
Okay.
Still coaching high school.
Okay.
Great coach, great guy. Real great, a great man.
Great guy. Sure.
They named the gymnasium complex after him after he passed. Well, that kind of, long time coach.
That kind of a guy.
Yeah. But the conversation with the boys was like, it's very, this is what this does, this is why it does, this is what's going to get you in trouble. This is why and then the condom thing, the condom talk.
Super awkward.
It's a snake's pit down there. It's filthy. I mean, the guy was.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
It's like he's talking to you guys at war.
Yes, exactly.
It's like those posters you see from like Vietnam.
Right. Where
it's just like.
propaganda. We could whipped out propaganda posters.
Don't bring this back to the U.S.
Yeah, about the kind of girl who will let you do that is not the kind of girl, that kind of talk.
You don't want to bring her home to your parents.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that one time might seem fun tonight.
You know what's not going to be fun? Going to the doctor's office.
That's right. The lifetime.
Asking.
Blindness. He was giving us.
You go blind?
He said, yeah, basically. I'm paraphrasing.
I think
it was an hour-long class.
I think that is the correct talk. You need to scare these kids.
That's what it was.
You need to scare them. You need to scare them straight.
Yep.
So they don't do that.
That's exactly what we got.
They're not ready for that.
No.
How old were you?
Oh, I was fifth grade.
Fifth grade?
Fifth grade, my friend.
That disgusts me.
If you're having the thoughts, it's time to have the talk. Right?
Disagree.
That's what we got from them.
Disagree. My parents didn't let. Well, Laura, what was your experience? Did you have to deal with this? How did girls deal with this?
How did girls deal with this in that other classroom?
Did you get sex ed talk?
They all looked at us and giggled when they put the classes back together. They would just look at us and giggle and point.
It was like anatomy stuff. It felt very science-y, healthy relationship stuff.
Oh,
but it
lucky.
started in public school in 5th grade.
Yep.
Here in Seattle.
That's insane. 5th grade. I have a 5th grader next year. No way.
No way.
Not happening. Not happening.
Interesting.
No, I'll pull him out of the class. Honestly.
No.
100%. 100%.
They weren't like tossing condoms at us in fifth grade.
Why does
Okay, pass the bananas down the aisle. Everybody take one banana.
I
Don't
never
eat the
did
banana.
that.
Oh, they made us do
finish
that.
Finish, and then I'll
I'm
get
sorry.
blustery. But finish. What was your
My fifth grade experience?
Fifth grade for you too, and then
It was very much like anatomy and like birth type stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, like the basics. It was very
I hope they scared you at least.
scientific. Scared me in fifth grade. You don't need to scare someone in fifth grade.
We got
Spike got
scared. Yeah, but
they didn't scare us.
But look at the era. I mean, we had the projector. So you're thinking of sex? You know, the film, threading up the old
16
projector.
millimeter?
You bet. Yeah. Dim the lights, bring down the screen.
It's like a creepy snuff video.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's some swampy looking lady up on stage.
Yeah.
With her wares and some unsuspecting young innocent. Might look fun tonight.
Lifetime of regret.
Exactly. You say
She's going to have your baby.
That's
horrible.
And that's the best case scenario.
Yikes. That's horrible.
It was horrible. It was scarring.
Did you? You were saying that you also, but you were in public school for this, but then you left public school.
Yeah,
right?
I was in public school through 8th grade, and then I went to a private Catholic all-girls school for high school.
Mhm.
And freshman year, I was in class with all of these girls who had gone to private Catholic schools for K through 8
Sure.
and had never had a sex ed class before. And I was like, I knew everything.
It was probably you
Yeah.
were probably they looked at you, they went harlot.
Everyone's
She knows-
copying off my text.
She knows too much.
Or was the go-to for answers? What happens?
It was the street cred that I needed at that age
Oh.
with those braces. I'll tell you that.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't.
Do you mind if I ask what year did you get this in school?
I did not. My parents didn't sign the form. They wouldn't let me do it.
What? Oh.
At my school, you had to have your parents sign a form.
It's a consent thing, sure.
Consent.
And I respect that that's given
which
to
is
the
the
parents.
right way to
yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
The parents, and it was 9th grade. And I went to private school through 8th grade. I went to a religious school through 8th grade.
Okay.
So
Explain
that
to-
was not a part of our education.
No, Laura either, yeah.
So I get there. I don't know heads or tails. I don't know what's going on, which is fine. I have 4 kids now, so obviously I figured it out.
You clearly.
But in 9th grade, my parents wouldn't sign the thing. And I just assumed that other kids also were not going to be able to take the class. And so, like, I didn't really think anything of it when my teacher at the time, Mrs. Ward, she said, all right, is anybody whose parents didn't sign the form? Because she was going to start the presentation.
Sure.
Everybody's kind of giddy in anticipation.
Was it a mixed class of both
boys
male
and girls?
female? Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
9th grade.
Yeah, I guess at that point.
And so I kind of jumped up. I was like, nah, my parents didn't sign it. I don't really think anything of it. And I looked around. I'm the only one standing.
Oh, buddy.
And she goes, you got to go to independent learning in the library. You're going to read Berenstain Bears books.
Nerd.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. She didn't say Berenstain Bears, but that's what it
They
felt
have
like.
a book for this, by the way. I believe the Bears put this one out. Yeah. Oh, Brother Bear.
That'd be hilarious. What are you looking at, Brother Bear?
The old treehouse. Something's wrong in the old treehouse tonight.
What are those squirrels doing?
Berenstain Bears.
But no, I was like, but I figured it out, and it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
and
You're a
that's-
natural. You're born for it. Click.
I was a natural. That's what they say. I'm a natural. No, but I think, honestly, I think 5th grade is insane. I think that's insane.
But it's like puberty. That's when your body starts changing. Like, I'm glad someone warned me about getting a period before it hit, you know?
You don't have parents? Were you raised in an orphanage?
Well, a lot of parents don't know how to have these talks, man. A lot of people, you know, it's
Your parents didn't talk to you about any of this stuff?
My mom took me to the Seattle Children's Heart to Heart series.
So
we went to a presentation
the
together
information.
with doctors, but you have to pay for that.
Okay,
You
but
know,
there's
and they pass
parents-
around,
There's
like,
parents who can still have a
you know.
conversation. They don't have to like write a check.
And they should. My parents were relieved that the school was going to do this.
There's also
to take
parents
this
like
on.
yours who
Yeah.
neglect their kids, and that's totally fine.
But look what happens.
No, that's too early. 5th grade to me is insane. It's
I don't
too
know,
early.
man. What it says is if you're old enough to be asking the questions, you're old enough to get the answers. You deserve the answers. And Laura's right. At what's that? 5th grade's what, 12? Or is it
That's
10,
11.
11? You know, 11?
It's like
years old.
11, 12.
Yeah.
11 years old. Yeah. It seems too young.
Huh.
Were they giving you demonstrations on condoms?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not in
we
5th
got that.
grade.
You got that.
We got
though, in
that.
5th
Yeah,
grade.
we got in 5th grade.
That's too young.
I felt so too.
That's
Even then.
far too young. Even in
Even
5th grade, you went, guys, this is,
Come
come
on.
on.
Can we
Look at
keep
me.
the-
I'm not going to need
Can
this
we
for
keep the
25
banana?
years.
At least that's our base question.
Yeah.
Can we keep the banana?
It's disgusting.
They did it in 8th grade for us, like the condom demonstrations. That's when that started.
Did
So
your
that's
parents,
14,
did you have the option of
13,
opting out?
14?
You have the option.
Probably,
to opt
yeah,
in?
but my parents opted me in.
You know what? It made me a little weird in school
to be the lone.
To be the lone.
Yeah.
I think it's good for you.
Okay.
It's good for you. I'm gonna opt
You
out
learn
my
to stand on your own.
Yeah, you
right.
just
Don't
you
need to
learn
run
that-
with the crowd.
You just learn that who cares what other kids think.
Right.
Who cares?
Good.
My parents knew that wasn't going to be part of my experience in high school. They could tell.
They took one look at you. He
They
won't
took a
need
look
this
at
for
me and they
years.
said, "This kid,
maybe college. Maybe
he's a good kid. It's not going to happen
He's a
for
good
him.
egg. He's an
a good
athlete.
egg. He's also very short. I'm taller now.
You weren't. Were you ever short?
Oh yeah.
You're kidding me.
I didn't grow till I was like 18 years old.
No. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I find that
I had
surprising.
some like pituitary thing.
Okay.
so-
Cool. Well,
No,
everybody
just-
blooms their own.
I'm just kidding about the gland thing, but no, I didn't grow until very late.
Wow.
But yeah, it's 5th grade's insane.
Is it safe to say kids are maturing later now in life? Do you think that's accurate?
I hope
that's the case.
I hope kids can maintain their innocence as long
There you
as
go.
possible.
That's the way to. Yeah,
That's what I hope. I hope that for the
me as well.
I hope that for the children of the future. That's what I hope. Certainly my kids will. All right. That was because police officers arrested 3 teens trying to steal condoms. Those rascally kids. We got a lot more coming up, actually. There's a guy who has basically gotten rid of everything in life. He found out he had a really bad sickness. Or he had a spinal
a medical condition,
a bad
right?
medical
Yeah.
spinal
Right.
condition.
He felt that his life, he may not have the long life ahead of him he thought.
Yep. He said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to be mobile, and so I'm going to go see the world. So he sold everything. And what he did next is kind of crazy, him and his cat. And we're going to find him, and we're going to tell you about it. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Feature reporting, sports reporting, and overall excellence.
And we thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Watch and listen anywhere by downloading the KIRO Newsradio app, and always stay connected at mynorthwest.com.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey folks, John Curley here. One of the best home comfort inventions of recent time, mini split systems. Now you can enjoy efficient heating and cooling while saving energy and reducing utility bills with personalized room comfort. Call my friends at Home Comfort Alliance for a free consultation, and for a limited time, get 18 months same as cash financing on all qualified systems. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
G. Scott here with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin. Tell us about Nourishing Champions.
We know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. So Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
High schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn more at championsofchangefoundation.org/Nourishing Champions.
Greetings, Boomtown. Ever since this neighborhood switched to Xfinity Internet,
the Wi-Fi is booming!
Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile with one all-in plan.
So we've all got lightning-fast, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile.
You get the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best in-class equipment and unlimited data included. Plus, add an unlimited mobile line.
All for only $40 a month for 1 year. To celebrate this combo, we're mashing our shows together.
It's everything you need all in one plan. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with a premium unlimited line. Now, sit back and relax with the smooth, relaxing sound
of face-melting acid metal!
Brilliant.
Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Ends June 23rd with paperless billing and autopay stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet gateway required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual Wi-Fi speeds vary. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hello, Seattle. It's your friendly neighbor, the T-Mobile Park roof. From up here, I can see it all. Folks pouring in from the street, the sun setting over the sound, the roar of the crowd as Luis Castillo pumps his fist, and the joy of the J-Rod squad as Julio snares a deep fly ball at the wall.
He reaches up with a leap and he makes the catch!
And all the faces smiling with every perfectly grilled hot dog and swirl of soft serve. When the final out's made, I'll be right up here, lighting the W and soaking it all in. Mariners baseball. Try it inside.
Check out what's on deck at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are back in town in late May, and it's your chance to score a Randy Arozarena bobblehead during the 3-day giveaway May 27th through 29th. Then don't miss the first Mariners fireworks night on May 30th, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
This week at Demetrio's Jazz Alley, come experience Robert Glasper's original piano trio. Celebrate 20 years of Canvas with 8 unforgettable shows. Shows run May 15th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. Boeing's new deal to sell 160 planes to Qatar Airways means a lot of jobs could be coming to the U.S. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Aviation expert Richard Abalafia says the deal with Qatar Airways, reportedly worth $96 billion, is just the first step for Boeing and their new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, turning the company in a new direction.
It's all about delivering aircraft. Selling them has not been an issue. As a matter of fact, backlogs are enormous.
Most of the 787s in this latest deal will be built in South Carolina. The deal also includes 777X planes from Boeing, which are made in Everett. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Boeing just now releasing specifics. The deal includes 130 Dreamliners and 30 of those 777Xs built in Everett. President Trump announced the deal in Qatar. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg also there.
That's a record, Kelly. And congratulations to Boeing. Get those planes out there.
CBS's Jason Brooks says it's been a banner week for Boeing.
Earlier this week, Boeing signed a deal with a Saudi-based aircraft leasing company for 20 737 MAX jets. Boeing shares have rallied this week also on reports that China has removed restrictions on Boeing deliveries to Chinese airlines after being forced to return several undelivered airlines from China back to the U.S.
Here in the U.S., Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing tough questions in a House subcommittee about the budget. Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro pressing Kennedy on the federal worker layoffs.
China
and Europe are taking advantage of this disaster by recruiting American scientists away from the United States. China wants to overtake us as a global leader in health research and innovation. You and President Trump are aiding and abetting them.
And she's accusing him of gutting federal health agencies. The Trump administration says it's cutting wasteful spending. Valley Medical Center is citing federal and state budget cuts for its decision to close multiple clinics, including an urgent care facility in the South Sound. Valley Med says it's losing money. Washington is joining attorneys general from 19 other states in suing the Trump administration. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with that story.
Attorney General Nick Brown and the 19 other attorneys generals filed 2 separate lawsuits against the Trump administration for threatening to withhold funding to states that do not assist in the federal government's immigration enforcement efforts. Brown said the president is once again acting illegally by threatening funding cuts without authority, which would negatively impact our ability to fight wildfires and enhance cybersecurity. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 76 points, NASDAQ up 103. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Lacey, a rollover crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound. You're solid on both directions of the freeway from Cabela's to the Regal Martin Village. Travel time, Tacoma to Olympia, 34 minutes. Up north in Burlington, a crash is blocking 2 lanes and part of a ramp on southbound I-5 at State Route 20. You're backed up to Chuckanet Junction. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy today with highs around 60. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you guys are not already joining in on the conversation on YouTube.com, you get over there. So search Jake and Spike. It's a lot of fun. People are loving it. A lot of stuff to talk about in this segment. There's a guy whose name is Oliver Widger. He's from Oregon, and he got a diagnosis that he was diagnosed with some rare spinal condition. He's a young guy, too. How old is this guy? He looks like he's in his 20s, late 20s, maybe?
Yeah, I guess I'm 20, maybe 30, 31.
21, 22, 35, 34.
Yeah, I'm a horrible judge.
He's a young guy. I can't tell ages.
Yeah. Well, he's far too young to be given a diagnosis that he could lose mobility.
Yes. Yeah. He was told that he has this condition which could leave him paralyzed, which is pretty awful. And he's looking around, he's looking at his life, and he's like, hey, you know what? I haven't really done much yet. He was diagnosed with Klippel-Feil syndrome 3 years ago after seeing a doctor for neck pain. The doctor says that basically you could end up paralyzed. He talked to Fox 12 in Oregon about why he decided to do this.
Life changed when Widger was diagnosed with Klippel-Feil syndrome 3 years ago after seeing a doctor for neck pain. He learned a forceful impact could paralyze him at any moment.
I went to the doctor and they freaked out, and I freaked out, and then I went through like a crisis of some sort, like a mental, thought I wanted like the white picket fence and all that stuff, and I was moving up the corporate ladder, and I just felt like completely empty. And then when I got that diagnosis, I was like, well, what's the point?
So he quit his job, emptied his 401k.
Any bad financial decision you can think of, I've done it. It's hard to chase a dream.
And started documenting his journey.
I'm just going to live life as hard as I can until I can't.
So they're doing this interview, if I'm not mistaken, they're doing this interview from his sailboat, where he is now, I think he's 15 days out into the middle of the ocean. He's on his way to Hawaii from Oregon, and he's sailing around the world with his cat, which is wild. This is actual footage. This is audio taken from his TikTok. He's gaining up a big TikTok following and all these different social media accounts.
He's got over 500,000 followers and growing every day.
Yeah, people are following him. They're like, yeah, this is really interesting. Maybe I wonder how much like wish fulfillment people have watching him, because isn't that kind of the dream?
I was thinking that as I'm reading the story and hearing this guy talk, what a I hate to even say this, what a gift.
Yeah,
a liberating gift that you know what you could at any moment lose it all, and he decides to live life right now and do everything he's always wanted to do.
It forces you for sure to take stock of what's important in life, and how you want to spend the precious time that you have. I mean, like, we're all kind of under this delusion that it's going to go on forever, and it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And anyway, this is some footage from his TikTok. This is pretty great.
This is day 8 of sailing with my cat from Oregon to Hawaii. Today marks the first day since I've changed clothes.
I saw dolphins.
He's literally on the deck of this tiny little like sailboat. Looks like a little Catalina or something.
Yeah.
And the reason he's able to keep updated on it, you might think, is like he's got some internet hookup out there, Starlink or something, and so he's able to do like live interviews.
Wow.
He's able to post videos. He's still connected to the world, which also will give you some peace of mind because if you need to contact somebody,
emergency. I mean, the guy at
or check Twitter, you could
see what his followers accounts up to. I mean, the guy has this disease, and any big hit to his body could cause paralysis.
Instant paralysis.
I mean, every moment on a sailboat is potentially.
Which is, I was thinking the same thing.
Every moment. Does the cat know how to dial 911? Does the cat know CPR? Is the cat a licensed co-pilot?
That's a great question.
Right? see Phoenix up there grabbing the wheel, 10 and 2, get him to port.
I think it could, like Toonces.
right?
The sailing cat.
It is. I'm almost jealous.
There is let me play the rest of this footage here, or this audio, and we should talk about why we all have this like yearning to do something like this.
Sure.
Dolphins, which is amazing. For those of you that are new here, I'm the guy who quit his job, liquidated his 401k, sold everything except for my cat to buy a boat and sail around the world. Here's the dolphins. Dolphin right there. Oh, that is so cool. The winds have calmed down. I've repaired my sails. I'm thoroughly enjoying life. The water is blue. That is blue water.
So Spike, it sounds like you're kind of tempted to do something like this, or maybe in your dreams. I mean, you can't now because you have a wife and you have kids and life.
That's it's funny. You hear these stories and you think, man, wouldn't it be great to just, whatever your dream is, sell it all, hop in an RV, see all 49.
Go see the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Or wherever. Backpack around Europe. Throw it all away, buy a one-way ticket, and start over somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you said, you got family, and don't get me wrong, I love my family. I love my life. I've been blessed.
Sure.
I would probably make the same decisions at every step. They go back and say, if you could go back and make one major decision different, and change the whole course of your life, I would hate the idea of not being where I am today with the family I have. I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's
but you don't know that.
But you see this guy. No, you don't. No.
And he's young. He has no attachments. I mean, I assume he's got some family somewhere, but he doesn't have any kids.
Right. He's got this
I actually
window.
assume he has no kids. I'm hoping he has no kids. He has a cat.
Cat, yeah.
And he brought the cat. I totally get it, too. There is a time in your life, especially when you're in your 20s, and we think he's in his 20s. I don't know how old he is, but it looks like he's in his 20s. But you do get this idea where you go, what if I just did it differently than everybody else does?
Right.
You do. You kind of like...
You take the leap.
You step on that conveyor belt, and... Before you know it, you look up and you got kids and a mortgage and all these different things.
Yep, got to be there at 9.
Responsibilities.
Yep.
There is a real tempting thing to just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Christopher Cross.
Blue skies, the puffy clouds, the blue water, dolphins. And your cat. Right?
Toons, what's his cat's name? Phoenix.
Don't know what Toons is. That's better.
And his cat Toonses. Laura, would you ever do something like this? Have you ever been tempted? Because you don't have kids yet.
I don't have kids. I do have a cat.
You have a cat?
And I like to sail. I know how to sail. I could do it.
Would you ever be tempted to do something like this?
I would, but I would be very frightened to do it on my own. To be that alone with just no land around you for
days
miles.
Away from anyone else.
That's a leap, man. That takes
because you get stranded out there. You get lost. People have been lost in the ocean. I mean, forever. Obviously, they die. But there's also people who've been lost for months. They're the lucky ones that get found.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do the sailing.
My cat is very clumsy, uncharacteristic for a cat. She falls off the couch. I just would not trust her to wander around a boat in high seas.
One of those big nets on a stick. You can fish her out. It'd be great.
Little life vest.
Yeah, little life vest. There you go.
Oh, that's so cute. I should do that just for fun.
Just for the life vest.
Take her down to Lake Union. Yeah.
When my wife and I had our first kid, we were like 6 months into being parents, and we decided we did this. We did this exact thing. We didn't go sailing, but we did a very similar thing. I had a good career here. Yeah. I was been producing for like 10 years. I was working for Dory.
Yeah.
But I had this other thing I wanted to attempt to do, which was, I've told you about this, screenwriting.
Sure.
And so we quit. Because my wife, ever since we've had kids, she has been primarily parenting our children. So she was not making any money. She's like, just parenting. Although it's very valuable. I'm not undercutting her. Yeah, she's a stay-at-home mom. Now she's got 4 kids, so
so she's obviously.
I owe her money. But when we had a 6-month-old, we decided we were like, listen, it's now or never, because we wanted to have more kids, we wanted to have a family, but we didn't have a house at the time. We had like very few attachments other than each other and our youngest or our oldest, and so we were like, this would be a fun adventure. Let's go do something. So we got in our head like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to buy a trailer, like a travel trailer? Let's go see the United States. Let's go do this thing.
Really?
We bought one. And we were like, we were at this crossroads. We were like, all right, we're going to jump full into adulthood. And we had like enough money for a down payment on a house, or we could go have an adventure. And we chose to go have an adventure. And so we bought this trailer. And we have to go take a quick commercial break. Can I tell you what happened?
I would love to hear this.
The trailer was a disaster.
Oh, of course it was. That's half the fun. Can you tell?
Can I tell you when we get back? Yeah,
I'd love to hear this.
So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it's Sometimes it's a learning experience.
But it's still an adventure.
Oh,
yeah, it's fun.
What a memory.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best-kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer. And they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
This week at Demetrio's Jazz Alley, come experience Robert Glasper's original piano trio. Celebrate 20 years of Canvas with 8 unforgettable shows. Shows run May 15th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
You know that cartoon of the three-eyed fish swimming in polluted water next to a nuclear power plant?
Yeah, classic.
I used to think that was real, but I just learned that nuclear energy waste isn't some glowing green goo. It's actually used fuel rods from nuclear reactors that made electricity.
Wait, so no barrels of leaking sludge?
No, solid used fuel rods are safely stored at all the nuclear power plants in the U.S., including the one in Richland.
So the cartoon fish isn't real?
Not even close. Learn the facts about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Before the break, we were talking about this guy whose name is something Widge. Widger. Oliver Widger, who found out that he had a bad diagnosis of a issue he's going to have on his spine, and he could be paralyzed at any moment. Right. He decides to cash in his 401k. He decided to...
Gets out of the rat race.
Get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
Grab his cat, who loves rat races.
Ironically.
And then jumps on a sailboat, and he's sailing across the ocean now. He's on his way to Hawaii.
Hawaii solo. And the guy taught himself he learned how to sail. I don't want to say he taught himself. We
don't actually know if he knows how to sail.
Right. Well, he's only been doing it less than a year.
Yeah.
He got this diagnosis.
That's a big sailing trip.
Bought a boat. That's open sea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to take it out on the lake your first year. I'd be worried of that.
Like, he better be pretty sure where he's going, because it's the most secluded place in the world is Hawaii. It's like further from anywhere. It's like
you
there's
only
a tiny
missed it
little
by
dot.
an hour.
Yeah, like a quarter inch on the map is like an extra 2,000 miles.
That's a bullseye.
That's a good question. And we found out, one of our listeners texted in, and we're going to try to reach out to him. And he said that he's actually doing the same thing. And he has a dog. Does he have a dog, or does he also have a cat?
A little chihuahua.
So
cute,
cat size, but it's a dog.
Yeah.
You don't want a big dog on one of these boats. So we're going to try to reach out to him, and one of our listeners doing the same thing. We want to get him on the show.
But you were you started to tell the story that you guys,
yeah,
you followed that dream.
Followed the dream. We were like, listen, if we don't do this right now, it's never going to happen. My wife and I made the decision when we had our first kids. So it's like,
how old was
10 years ago. My oldest kid, who's now 10, was 6 months old at the time.
Wow. See, that's right there with a newborn.
It's a risk.
That's a big step too.
But we saw that we were kind of on a track, and we said, hey, if we don't get off this track and try something else, it's a lot more difficult to try things the more kids you have.
Amen.
So we decided I quit my job. So we now had no income coming in, but we had a pretty good savings.
Okay.
And we decided at that moment not to buy a house, and instead we bought a truck and a Rockwood travel trailer, which is like a lightweight travel trailer. At least the one that we got was. And we were like, we're going to go see the United States. We're going to go everywhere. I'm going to write from the trailer. It's going to be romantic.
It's beautiful. Yes.
It was beautiful. We got all it was going to be great.
Was it like how long of a trailer is that? Like a hitch trailer? Or is it
It was a hitch trailer.
Okay. Not a fifth wheel. Not
ours
a big
was
thing.
not big. Ours was only 19 feet.
Okay. Well, that's cozy.
But we're a tiny family at the time.
Right.
We're a small family.
Sure.
And we did we customized it and personalized it. And, my wife and I got in there and did a bunch of stuff.
That's
made
some pioneer spirit stuff there, buddy.
We made it our own.
Yeah.
And our dreams. Boy, our dreams were big. We were so excited. So excited. And so we decided, we said, hey, it would be a good idea before we leave. And we were in a rental. We were living in Seattle at the time. We got out of it. Moved in at my parents' house while we fixed up this situation.
Staging for the big
trailer.
adventure, yeah.
We then are literally a week away from leaving.
Wow.
On this trip. We've mapped it all out. We're stocking the trailer with all the stuff we're going to need to start. And my wife is like, we've never slept in this thing. We should try sleeping in it.
Smart girl.
Smart girl.
Yeah. You bet.
So we go up to where's the beautiful bridge that people drive over?
Deception Pass?
Deception Pass.
Yeah.
There's a campground there.
Yeah.
Beautiful campground. My family goes there all the time. It's gorgeous. So we go there and we're camping and we get there and we set the whole thing up, which is kind of a hassle, actually.
Well, it's good to know.
Drag it up there.
Right?
Yeah. And so we get up there, we set the whole thing up, bedtime rolls around, and in our heads, the dream is we're sitting outside by the fire at night, seeing Utah. We're going to Arches. We're going to Yosemite. We're going to Yellowstone, all these different places. And our baby would be inside sleeping and just cozy and tucked in. And then mom and dad slide in there and we all sleep a good night. And then we get out, we're in some national park.
Right. Coffee roasting, the smell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Somewhere an eagle screeches
we're making
in the
flapjacks.
distance. Yes.
Long-term camping trip or something.
A trout
great.
breaks the still surface of a lake.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
A bear winks
I
at us. Yeah. He's just screaming. He hates it. Hates it. Hates it. So he's screaming, and we're like, how long do we let this go? So we let him scream for a little bit, and finally we're like, let's call it a night. We're tired. So we go inside. We fold out the bed. We lay on the bed. Breaks. The bed breaks.
No.
And my wife looks at me. She goes, I can't do it.
One screaming baby in a broken bed.
One screaming baby in a broken bed. She goes, not happening. We're not gonna drive it. And I was like, and she was totally right, by the way. It would have been a disaster. She saw it coming down the road. She was smart. And so she's like, we can't do this. And I was like, so should we sell it, get a bigger trailer? She's like, no. She goes, I can't live in a trailer. I can't be driving around in a trailer.
Oh, my gosh.
She goes, not with a baby. That's nuts. This guy with his cat is one thing.
That's one thing, yeah. There ain't no screaming newborn on that.
But a screaming newborn is a total other thing.
Oh, man.
So we had to calibrate, and it ended up working out to the best that it should have worked out.
You got your money back out of the trailer, pretty much?
We actually sold the trailer for a profit.
There you go, because you had fixed it up.
We fixed it up.
You fixed the broken bed.
we still pursued the other career, which ended up working out great.
Okay.
We were very fortunate there, but thank God that the trailer didn't work out.
Wow. Imagine if that bed hadn't broke that night.
I know.
And you guys have been on your own, because once you started the trip,
you
once
can't
you're
turn
on the
around.
road, right,
you gotta go.
Ride it out. Fix the bed. Coddle the kid.
Right? It was oh my gosh.
Wow.
I was just sitting there sweating. I'm like, you know what? Thank God she said no to this.
What a wonderful woman.
She's a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's strong.
And she sees things.
Right?
She sees the right. She sees things coming down.
You married well, buddy.
All right. I'd love to hear your stories. Have you taken giant risks? Even if they don't work out, it's still sometimes worth doing, because you learn a lesson, you have an experience, and you look back, you laugh on it, have a good attitude about it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
We got a lot more coming up. Hit us up on the text line, or you can hit us up on YouTube. Share your stories with us. I'd love to hear them. A lot more coming up. Great hour next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
"2025 is the year to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you last minute, leave a mess behind, and refuse to commit. If you're ready to settle down, swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication from start to finish, meticulously clean job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. We don't just make promises, we're committed to providing you with the Valentine experience, one you'll never forget. And with flexible financing options like 0 down and 0% interest until 2026, your wallet will love Valentine Roofing too. Stop dating around to find the right contractor. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. We'll provide a transparent estimate within about an hour of meeting with us. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to your Valentine, the perfect match for all your roofing needs. Schedule your heartbreak-free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my superhydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
G. Scott here with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin. Tell us about Nourishing Champions.
We know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. So Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
High schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn more at championsofchangefoundation.org/Nourishing Champions.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There is some good news to report about overdose fatalities in the U.S. Sabrina Cupid reports.
Since late 2023, overdose deaths have steadily declined each month. And according to new data from the CDC, there were 30,000 fewer drug overdose deaths in 2024. So what's behind the decline? There are several possible factors, including increased availability of overdose-reversing drugs like Narcan. Other possible reasons for the decline: expanded addiction treatment and shifts in how people use drugs. Sabrina Cupid for CBS News, Atlanta.
Millions of Americans are under advisories as dangerous heat takes hold from the Dakotas to Texas. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore says the danger lies in how long it will stick around.
San Antonio's forecast stays in the triple digits through at least Friday, and then they'll be right around that triple digit mark Saturday into Sunday. So this excessive heat just continues through the weekend and probably into early next week.
Some cities in North Dakota have shattered heat records that have stood for over 100 years. In Virginia and Maryland, torrential rain and flash flooding.
What was normally just a small trickle in normal summer times was a raging river last night. I don't think I've ever seen a stream like that.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. facing some angry lawmakers today, partly over his cuts to the workforce, research grants, and other health programs. Linda Kenyon reports.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy says Secretary Robert
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has actively undermined faith in life-saving vaccines.
Kind of like saying, listen, I think you should swim in that lake. But, the lake is probably toxic, and there's probably a ton of snakes and alligators in that lake, but I think you should swim in it. Nobody's going to swim in that lake if that's what you say.
Secretary Kennedy said he's a truth teller.
If I advised you to swim in a lake that I knew there to be alligators in, wouldn't you want me to tell you there were alligators in it?
Kennedy also defended cuts in his department, saying he's trying to consolidate and streamline. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
A Georgetown scholar from India who was detained as part of the crackdown on foreign college student activists has now been released on orders from a judge. He was arrested in March outside his home in Arlington, Virginia. His visa revoked. Ask the Sharma Pokharel is an attorney for the Center for Constitutional Rights.
The message from the court today is that the government cannot arrest, it cannot incarcerate people, it cannot rip them away from their families just for standing in solidarity with Palestinians.
Ford is recalling more than 250,000 Navigator and Expedition SUVs because of an issue with the brake function. The models are years 2022 to 24. On Wall Street, the Dow is off 89 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
New investments in Seattle's Chinatown International District. The story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Federal Way, a car fire has 3 lanes blocked on northbound I-5 near State Route 18. You're backed up to 5. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 27 minutes. They expect that to grow. In Lacey, a rollover crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound. You're solid on both directions of the freeway from about Marvin Road southeast to downtown Olympia. Travel time Olympia to Tacoma, 46 minutes, about 20 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop free and call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. $1 million of new investments are coming to Seattle's Chinatown International District. Mayor Bruce Harrell making the announcement.
The goal is to create a safer neighborhood, help those struggling with addiction and homelessness, and to help small businesses thrive. Mayor Harrell says a big part of that is a new CID ambassador program.
They'll support tourists and local residents. They'll build relationships and provide assistance to business owners. They'll help foster safe environments through de-escalation.
Mayor Harrell says the CID ambassadors will work 7 days a week from 2 to 10 p.m. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The manhunt for a wanted felon accused of shooting at a Thurston County deputy with a semi-automatic rifle is over. 27-year-old Damian Madison got away after shooting at the deputy last week, but yesterday, Sheriff Derek Sanders says the FBI took Madison and his mother into custody near the Nevada-California state line. A Pierce County family wants state agencies to be held accountable after their 5-year-old nephew died from fentanyl poisoning. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibau reports.
Uncle Cody and Aunt Cassandra Parsons are grieving 5-year-old Brentley Lawrence, who deputies say died of fentanyl poisoning in March while sleeping next to his mother, 32-year-old Jordan Shank. They don't believe the mom carries all the blame.
State should do more, CPS should do more, and anybody that went into that home and saw his living conditions and didn't call is also part of the problem.
I don't understand why nothing was done or why he wasn't removed from the home after so many calls.
They're mourning the life he won't get to live.
King County Public Health is warning that a Canadian visitor was contagious with the measles while traveling to multiple places in King and Snohomish counties April 30th to May 3rd. We've listed those locations at mynorthwest.com. If you're up to date on your vaccines, you should be protected. Nearly 3,000 students and staff at Discovery Elementary and Gig Harbor are still recovering from a norovirus outbreak. University of Washington professor Farrick Fang tells KIRO 7 TV.
It's so infectious. It would be very difficult for the authorities in the school to control it.
The Peninsula School District says it is working with the health department to make sure everything is properly cleaned and the outbreak is contained. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies with highs around 60. It's 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Tons of stuff to get to. So excited. Go over to the YouTube page right now. Check it out. If you're not doing it already, people are enjoying it. We love having you there. We're going to watch some videos with you live here in just a couple minutes. Some zipline videos that you're not going to want to miss. Go to YouTube, search Jake and Spike. It'll pop up there, and you can jump into the chat with us. Lots of fun. Quick side note, Spike, have you seen this news about, this is cool, about Nicolas Cage's new movie that he's starring in?
No.
He is starring as John Madden, the famous
football
coach.
Wow.
Have you seen the pictures of Nicolas Cage
No. Do you
as
have
John Madden?
Yeah, because that's not, Nicolas Cage is not the actor I think of. I'm thinking Jack Black would be a great John Madden.
No, John Madden.
Physicality.
Yeah, he's going to be,
right?
Nicolas Cage is going to be John Madden. Christian Bale is going to be Al Davis. Christian Bale, Batman fan. Isn't that wild?
I can see. That I can see.
It looks amazing. These guys look amazing. Yeah, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. People are going to love that movie.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Oh, my
Isn't that wild?
gosh. Oh, my God.
I know. It looks exactly like him.
Oh,
if anybody hasn't seen this, you need to get on over and check it out.
Nobody can wear a wig like Nicolas Cage. Can I just say that with most flattering intent? Nobody can wear a wig like Nicolas Cage.
He's a genius. I think he's a genius.
He is.
Honestly. I think people think he's weird, but I actually think he's a genius.
Or both can be true at the same time.
You're absolutely right about that.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
He is weird, man.
All right. Can we talk about this real fast? Did you see this police chase locally that happened? It's not wild that somebody had a police chase. That happens all the time. We just did a story earlier about teenagers who ran from cops because they had stolen condoms. But this one happened in Puyallup.
Yeah.
And the reason we're highlighting the story is because the guy runs from police. Tuesday night, this happened last night, 9:18 p.m. A near head-on collision.
Going the wrong way?
Going the wrong way.
Yeah.
The officer arrives, Sumner police officer arrives to chase after this guy and gives chase. 36-year-old guy gets out of his car, tries to jump off of an overpass to escape the cops.
We've had too many of these stories this week.
This just happened there at Ship Canal Bridge.
Yeah.
Cops were chasing a guy who was involved in a three-way car accident. The guy gets out of the car, jumps off to his death.
Right.
What's going on? Why are people jumping off of bridges and overpasses?
Well, and that was a kid who lost his life. This is a 37-year-old, 36-year-old guy.
Yeah, 36-year-old man.
Clearly he was impaired. He's going the wrong way on the freeway.
You got to think he was.
Right. Hits a couple of cars.
Yep.
Car rolls to a stop because he's damaged the vehicle, and your attempt to flee is you leaping over an overpass. Luckily, this guy fell, I don't know how many feet it was, down to a yard below.
Yeah, he was
injuries, but he's in the hospital recovering from non-lethal injuries.
He survived.
Right.
He non-life-threatening injuries, but still, you're jumping off an overpass. It's like when you get to the side of the overpass, just don't make the extra leap. You're making a big mistake, buddy.
I don't know
yourself in.
Are people that convinced that cops can't do their job? That they think they're going to pull a Batman moment and leap over,
Yeah, what, he's Superman suddenly?
Right?
You can just survive anything?
There's some arch villain that can leap off an overpass and walk away and hide, slink away into the dark?
We don't know this for sure, but it's got to be impairment, right?
Oh, yes, clearly.
It's got to be some sort of a drug situation.
I'm hoping no one's judgment is that poor when they're sober or straight.
Yeah.
That they think they can make a 20-foot at least, maybe more. 30-foot fall to a yard. Luckily, it was a yard below, not a train track.
What would your advice? What would Spike's advice? You give great advice. What would Spike's advice be to anybody who's thinking about jumping off of an overpass or a bridge to evade the police?
You got to know when to fold them. I'll quote the great Kenny Rogers. Mm-hmm. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when they got you.
Yep.
And it's time to face the music. Take your medicine. Pick your euphemism.
Pick your poison.
They got you, buddy. They got you.
They got you dead to rights.
And I don't know what horrible thing you think is going to happen to you in jail, or maybe
pretty scary. Also,
that can be scary. And maybe this is the third time you've been drinking and driving. Maybe this is the one that takes away your license or gets you blow and go.
But they're going to get you eventually.
But they got you.
Yeah,
they've got you. You are not going to leap to safety. You are not an arch villain in a Marvel comic or a DC comic. You're not.
No, you're not.
Take a reality shot and face the music. Don't jump. Don't. My advice to you.
Don't do it.
Don't jump.
Don't jump.
Come on.
Yeah. Save yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Jeez.
All right. let's move on to Laura had a funny transition. She said, speaking of jumping, this is a basketball story. And they can jump.
Smooth.
Very smooth. Very smooth. Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA, was on
and by the way, arch villain in a comic book too, by the way. Ironically enough, right?
Yeah. He's an interesting looking fella.
He looks like the guy in Men in Black.
He does.
Who went to pick up the galaxy, right? That's who he looks like.
100%. Like his face is going to fold open and there's going to be a tiny little guy in there operating what is actually just an exoskeleton
levers,
machinery.
Handles, levers, screens.
You will not get an NBA team, no matter how much you want it. Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, possible alien. We don't know that. That's rumor. I heard that from somebody I trust. He was doing an interview just the other day, and he was asked about this owners meeting that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds pretty positive, actually.
They got the new labor agreements figured out. They got the new TV deal figured out.
Yeah.
Now the numbers are in place. It's convincing the 30 owners in the NBA that it's time to cut the pie a little thinner, bring it to 32 shares of all the different revenue streams. And that the markets where they're talking about going into, Vegas and Seattle, are a worthwhile investment that will be a beneficial long-term growth for everybody involved.
Let me play a little bit of Adam Silver, and then I'd love your take on whether or not I want to put you in the position of one of these owners, one of these 32 team owners, and you're going to decide whether or not you'd share a little bit of the pie with these other possible expansion teams. But here's Adam Silver.
We have a NBA board meeting in July in Las Vegas, and my sense is it will be on the agenda to discuss with full ownership now for the 30 teams to get directly the existing owners' views on potential expansion and how we would begin furthering the study of all the implications. And I've said before, there's an impact on dilution of talent. There's, of course, an economic impact in that presumably if we were to expand, let's say, an even number of teams, 2 teams, it means there's then a division of our media deals by 2 additional partners, et cetera. I mean, that's just math. That's something we have to look at as well. And then get a sense of the level of interest from certain markets. And look, I know there's tremendous interest in Seattle. I know there's tremendous interest in Las Vegas and several other cities as well that whether I've read about the interest or, I've heard indirectly from others, just to be clear, we haven't begun any sort of process. So even to the extent cities have reached out, we've said thank you for your interest, but we're not ready to take meetings yet. And
I wonder. I'll stop it there because obviously it sounds like he's saying we'll talk about it, but we'll let you know. You're a team owner. You're at this meeting. 32 teams currently own NBA team. 32 owners in the NBA right now. Would you want more teams to have part of that pie? Do you see it as a benefit to you, or do you actually think it just takes a little bit away from what you already got going, which is a pretty good thing?
It's a good. You got a good thing going. That's key to this. You got a good thing going. And sidebar, before I get into my take on this as a hypothetical NBA owner, I want to thank Commissioner Silver and the NBA for not having this owners meeting in Seattle. They're having it in Vegas, not Seattle. If they held this owners meeting in Seattle and these owners came to Seattle and saw the tents and graffiti and all the stuff that I love my town. Don't get me wrong. I'm on the Seattle's coming back bandwagon.
Sure.
I'm a true believer in this city.
Sure.
But when you bring the owners to Vegas.
Well, Vegas is
Vegas.
It's America's playground.
Right?
Yeah.
Go see a David Copperfield show.
Go to the Sphere.
All the shrimp you can eat. See the Sphere.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm worried about.
How do you not? Well, they're going to expand. They're going to go in 2s. You're going to balance it out.
I know, but you got a city like Seattle, which has already had a team, which they decided they could get away with not having a team here.
Yeah, but we're a much bigger TV from a money standpoint. We're a bigger TV revenue market than Vegas is.
Than Vegas?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I think
Vegas is a playground, but we're talking about population size, TV market. What the point share is when you buy commercials in the marketplace and TV revenue.
The thing about Vegas is it's just so flashy.
Oh yeah.
That I think nationally, it would be a pretty good city to have a branded team in.
Yeah.
And Seattle, I would hope
if it was us and Tuscaloosa were the 2 cities, bring them to Seattle.
Yeah.
But us in Vegas, you take them to Vegas.
Well, I think you take them to
better
Vegas.
Better rooms, better hotels, boom.
They got the Raiders
more
now,
luxury
right?
suites. Raiders, Golden Knights.
They got the Golden Knights.
Right. The A's are going to Vegas.
The A's they're going to have every team
all
now.
Four,
they're going to have all 4 sports now.
Yep. And Seattle and Seattle get the Kraken. That helps us too.
Seattle
makes
have
us
the
a
Kraken.
big 4
that
city,
is helpful.
Right.
I'm worried that there's going to be another city that comes in who doesn't have a team and says, "Hey, you know what?
That's what Portland's for. Portland
adds an X factor to
Portland's
it now because they're for sale. You're right.
Right.
Portland might have done us a favor.
And it may end up that Portland goes. They vote not to expand. Portland goes to Vegas, and we're left out in the cold again.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awful.
It'd be awful. But you got to.
I didn't even think about that.
You got to
Spike.
assume the worst. You got to prepare for the worst.
Do you think
expect the best? Prepare for the worst.
So Paul Allen's estate is selling the Portland Trailblazers, which he owns,
and his intent, as was stated when the story was broke yesterday, I believe, that his intent is for his legacy. He's going to sell all his pro teams eventually. All of them are for sale,
which would include the Sounders and the Seahawks.
Sounders, Seahawks, Blazers, because he wants to fund his philanthropic work in perpetuity.
I really like that the Allen family, though, has done pretty good by the Seahawks and the Sounders.
Absolutely.
Good
ownership is everything.
I get really nervous because the last time we had a big-time rich guy who decided he didn't want to have a team anymore, we lost a basketball team.
We did.
Mr. Howard Schultz.
That's right, and we almost lost the Mariners to bad ownership. When Jeff Smiley had the Mariners, and they're going to be the Tampa Bay Mariners.
Oh,
right? Remember how bad that was?
It's horrible.
If I'm an owner right now, here's what I'm thinking. There's two ways to look at this: short term and long term. Short term, I'm not so ready to cut the pie in thinner slices.
I like pie. I don't want to share pie.
Right? But if I'm a long term thinker, I think for the better long term health of this league, you got to get these new, bigger markets into the league.
And it adds value. It adds value to your
right.
I wonder if it works the same way. Like if a nice house gets built near your house, suddenly your house is worth a little bit more.
That's why they were waiting for the Celtics to sell
$6 billion.
$6 billion. Now they can put the Blazers up on the market. Now there's been a threshold established for franchise value.
They're not going to sell for $6 billion.
Right?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you get an idea where the market is.
I
for
bet
pro
you
sports
in
franchises.
Portland that's going to sell for what, 3?
I wish I can't begin to speculate. Yeah, if they're lucky, if they're good,
if they're lucky,
because a lot of franchises in the NBA you have a hard time selling.
What did the Sonics sell for when Schultz unloaded them? Was it $350? Wasn't it like $350 million bucks
something
or something
like that? Yeah, it was insanely less than. I mean, but everything the rising
we
tides
could have
lifted
gotten a
all
couple
value.
friends together. We should have bought the team.
Could have put that together.
Could have kept them local.
Somebody, some local, maybe get Tom Douglas involved as our backer.
A couple rich friends.
Right?
We could have made that happen.
Sure.
Oh, I hope we get a team. I
think I'm so ready to be over my ugly breakup with the NBA. They've been dead to me since they left.
Yeah, me too.
I can't give my
I have
love.
zero interest in them.
Right?
Yeah, no, but I want to get interested in them.
I do
so
too.
Bring back
it's
a team.
Great game.
You know what I am interested in? Zip lines. How's that for a transition?
Is this the story from Spokane? Right?
Spokane, yeah. Spokane has a and is this a tourist zip line they're going to build in the downtown city of Spokane?
Yes.
Is that what this is?
Spokane's got a reputation problem outside of the city of Spokane. It's got a lot of natural beauty.
They got that river, which is gorgeous.
It's right through town.
Yeah,
it is gorgeous, and that's where the zip line's proposed to run
over the river.
To run along the river. Yes.
No thanks.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't do it.
Wait, if
over a Whitewater Rapids? Have you seen that river?
I've seen that river.
The falls?
I've zip lined over canopies. I'd rather fall into that river.
Have you really?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we might have some video of zip lining.
Not of me, because it's all screaming. You don't want to play that.
If you're watching on YouTube, do you have any video of you zip lining?
Actually, there's stills. And there may be some video somewhere.
Okay, let's watch. I want to watch a video. Let's pretend this is you. We have a video for the YouTube audience. And then here's what you sounded like ziplining, and they can watch it along with us. And this is Spike ziplining through Spokane over a raging river. All right, here we go. We're starting. Beautiful. That's nice.
That's me weighing down the zip line.
How high up were you when you were ziplining?
Oh, we were literally several hundred feet. We ziplined in northern, the Big Island of Hawaii. In rainforest.
Oh, look at that! That's beautiful.
Is
this where you went?
I don't know, but this is very similar. We went from tree to tree. There were platforms built. Yeah, that's very, very similar to where I went to. That's almost identical to where I went to.
Have you seen?
Wouldn't be surprised if this was where I went.
Have you seen? Did it feel like this? I mean,
exactly
like the video
like
we're
that.
watching right now. It feels like you're flying.
Yeah, you are literally through the canopy of these trees.
Unbelievable.
And there were like 9 different platforms in this one tour.
Is that you right there?
No, that's not me. That's
not you. That's a small woman.
That might be the place we went.
Spike, is that you?
That was not me. That's me. Weighing down the line. No. You know what the worst part of ziplining is?
Bunching up in your crotch.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you exceed the harness weight limit, and they let you go anyway because you paid for the whole group.
Yeah.
And they can't really make Big Dad not too big to zip line. It's not a label you want.
Were you worried about getting stuck?
Sure.
People have accidents on zip lines all the time.
I was worried about not carrying to the platform Because they literally
because it weighs down.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you need the gravity, and you need there to be a downward slope.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time I ziplined, it was going down. You don't go up.
And they teach you how to goose yourself if you're starting to slow down, how to rock that momentum and keep your momentum moving forward.
Oh, probably just like a swing.
Yeah, to carry yourself to the platform.
Kick your legs.
I've had him reach out and grab me as my toes barely made the platform once or twice. But the last one was long and all downhill.
So this one
to
is
the recovery area.
This one in Spokane, if it ends up being built, which they say it is, they say they're hoping to have it finished by the end of July. People could actually start ziplining. It's not like a transit for people. It's not mass transit.
No. It's
just
a tourist. Yeah, it's to showcase the natural beauty of the natural wonder that is the Spokane River.
We have a little bit of audio from the CEO, actually, of the.
Oh,
it's a private company that's doing it.
Sure.
Even though it's in a public park.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. This is CEO of Micah Moons. Micah Moons, the company that will build and operate it, describing the zip line.
It's a single zip line where it's side by side. Spokane Skylines is the name. We're starting right here at the corner of Place of Truth Plaza, and it will go down across the river through the southern arch of the Monroe Street Bridge and land in the southeast corner of Red Band Park. The city isn't paying for anything. It's a public-private venture, meaning that we will provide all of the construction costs, the financing, insurance, permitting.
Do you know one of my I hope they're successful.
I'm up there too, man.
Yeah,
be great.
I wouldn't go over a raging river on it, but it
have
sounds
you,
like
have you ziplined?
It sounds like it's on the on the side of the river.
Yeah. It's safe.
I have ziplined not in canopies of trees, but just like in backyards and stuff. I had a friend with a zipline growing up, and
really
unbelievable. We're thinking of building one for the kids in our backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be the house everybody comes to.
Well, that's my worry. It's the liability. Somebody gets hurt on that thing.
Yeah, you gotta cover it. You gotta have insurance, right? You gotta have kids sign waivers when they come over to play.
Like an NDA, have a kid sign an NDA.
I don't know.
Nobody's gonna let their kid come over and play with my kids. They have to sign an NDA.
Yeah, but every kid's gonna want. You guys are gonna be. You're gonna be the go-to house in the neighborhood.
I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that many kids. You do want that.
Yes, you want that. Trust me. You know where your kids are at.
That's true.
You provide a great example for every kid in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
All the other parents appreciate that it's your house and not theirs.
That's true.
Right? I mean,
we're already used to the noise.
My old man put a pool in when we were kids because he wanted our house.
Richie Rich.
Well, it was above ground.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like an in-ground pool. But all of a sudden, we were the house everybody came to. All the kids were at our house.
Phenomenal.
Right? My mom said, I knew where you were. I was happy to make extra sandwiches. I was happy to whatever it was, to have all you guys here. My mom became like the neighborhood mom.
There you go.
It was wonderful. So yeah, build a zip line for your kids.
I think
Mrs. O'Neill.
I think we're gonna do it.
Miss Judy.
Do we have like 20 seconds, or we can play this?
Yeah, I was just thinking we could also play them on the break.
A zip line.
People wanted to stick around on our YouTube.
We can do
stream.
that.
Yeah.
We can play funny videos on the break.
Wouldn't that be great?
Let's do it. We're gonna play a funny zipline fail video. If you want to watch on the break right now, get on over to YouTube.com, search Jake and Spike, and this looks hilarious. We'll play this on the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, we've got Wes Jones here of sellwithwes.com. Wes, what if I'm a home seller, but I've got a unique property? Maybe I have a lot of acreage or a horse pasture or a castle and a moat or a house with some sort of unique design. Can you help with that?
If you've got something like that, I definitely want to hear from you guys. You working with unique properties is one of my favorite things to do in real estate. And the reason why is I get to utilize my full arsenal of marketing techniques. We can do aerial photography, we can do video walkthroughs, we can do actual video, we can do target marketing. But one of the unique things that I can do that other realtors don't is some of the access to other media that I can advertise your properties in. The local blogs, Seattle Times, King 5, all of my properties have been featured on programs like those.
That's Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. He sold a ton of unique properties and he can sell yours too. Sellwithwes.com, sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big number with a 2-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck, when he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball, Tridents up.
The Mariners' next homestand gets started on Tuesday, May 27th with a 3-game set against the Nationals. All 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Go to mariners.com/value games to grab your tickets and check out the complete Mariners value games schedule.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
If it's time for a new bath, go with a name you can trust, Bathfitter Northwest. Bathfitter is the original one-day bath remodeler, and right now they're offering 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Call Bathfitter today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Derek Wing. A big deal for Boeing today. Qatar Airways placing an order for up to 210 airplanes. The deal is worth nearly $100 billion. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on what it means for the plane maker and our region.
Aviation expert Richard Abalafia says the deal with Qatar Airways, reportedly worth $96 billion, is just the first step for Boeing and their new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, turning the company in a new direction.
It's all about delivering aircraft. Selling them has not been an issue. As a matter of fact, backlogs are enormous.
Most of the 787s in this latest deal will be built in South Carolina. The deal also includes 777X planes from Boeing, which are made in Everett. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
At the close of the stock market today, the Dow down 89, NASDAQ up 6, and the S&P 500 up 137. A fugitive accused of shooting at a Thurston County deputy with a semi-automatic rifle has been captured. 27-year-old Damian Madison escaped after shooting at the deputy last week. Yesterday, Sheriff Derek Sanders says the FBI tracked down and took Madison and his mother into custody near the Nevada-California state line. A man with a history of child sex and animal cruelty crimes has been caught while on the run in Mason County. Deputies say they found 38-year-old David Williford climbing beams under the high steel bridge.
Just wait for seconds, don't fall off. Just wait for us, David. I'm good.
Investigators say Williford was at his mother's West Seattle home under supervised release last week when he cut off his GPS tracker. King County Public Health is warning that a Canadian visitor was contagious with the measles while traveling to multiple places in King and Snohomish counties earlier this month. We've listed those locations at mynorthwest.com. If you're up to date on your vaccines, you should be protected. Travel update now. In Federal Way, all lanes are clear after a car fire on I-5 northbound near Wild Waves, but continue to drive with caution and expect delays. Travel times, Federal Way to Seattle, 31 minutes. Seattle to Everett, a little over half hour. Bellevue to Everett, almost 40 minutes. Now to the weather, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy with highs near 60, currently 56 degrees in Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Laura, that was such a great idea. People really enjoyed that.
Thanks. I really enjoyed that. That's fun to watch.
Just necessity is the mother of invention.
I love it. And thank you for not using me in that montage of epic zipline fails.
We just played a hilarious zipline fail video on the commercial break. If you're watching the live stream on YouTube, you can go to Jake and Spike Show on youtube.com. Look us up. Find us there. You can watch funny things on the commercial breaks. Just our way of keeping you around, entertaining you, and we can't be with you.
Every minute matters.
Every minute.
In this life.
Absolutely. So you can spend them watching people embarrass themselves and with fail videos, which is a lot of fun. Did you guys see this story? This is pretty crazy. And I have gone through this. Laura, I know you suffer from this once too, norovirus. There was a norovirus outbreak at a school in Gig Harbor. Did you see this, Spike?
Yeah, I saw this. I'm glad I don't have kids in that school.
36 students and staff all got sick at Discovery Elementary School. They were trying to figure out where it came from. They did some tests or whatever they needed to do to find the origin of it. They determined it did not come from the school's kitchen, so they could still serve lunches and things like that.
Boy, that's a horrible thought.
It's awful. Laura, you got norovirus pretty bad, right?
Yeah, like in January.
What was that experience like for you?
What was it like?
Yeah.
Without being too graphic, it was really, really bad. I started getting sick at probably 10 o'clock at night and then just did not sleep, or it just didn't stop. I didn't have more than 15 minutes in between. I'll call them episodes.
Sure.
And around 4 in the morning, I genuinely considered calling 911 just because I was so miserable. And I was like, this has to stop. I don't care how. I need it to stop.
It's kind of unbelievable how sick you can feel.
You can't take meds either because
can't do
you
anything
keep
for it.
Throwing them up.
You won't hold them in.
I couldn't do anything.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's so horrible. And you've never gotten it, Spike?
I've never gotten this, but
I pray you never do.
Me too. And these were a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
You know, and I mean, it's one thing when you're an adult. I'm a horrible patient.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest wuss on the face of the earth.
Sure, I believe that.
Thank you. But when you're a kid and you're a parent who's watching your poor kid suffer through this horrible.
Also, you're worried about catching it from them.
Right.
Parents catch everything from kids.
Oh, yeah.
Awful. These kids are always sick. They're always getting stuff at their schools all the time.
Breeding grounds for germs.
It's also, they need it, obviously, because they build up a bunch of immunities that they're going to be
but you
valuable
don't
later in
watch
life.
kids
It's a part of
suffer
childhood.
with norovirus.
But if they can avoid norovirus, I highly recommend it. My wife got it. I'm trying to remember when I had it. It was probably, I want to say it was in 2019 is my guess. We got norovirus really bad. I was actually out of town and I was coming back that day, but my flight wasn't until like 6 p.m. at night. So I wasn't going to be home till like 9 or 10 o'clock. And my wife calls me and she was 8 months pregnant at the time, which is very scary. And we already had 2 other kids, so she's like already very busy. And she's like, I've got to. She called her mom, and she's like, my mom just arrived. She goes, I just want to let you know, I'm heading over to the emergency room because she was worried about the baby.
About the baby, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's like same experience that Laura had. She's just like it's coming out,
exiting the body.
Yeah,
At
she can't hold
every
anything down.
port.
She's getting sick all the time, and so she ends up going to the emergency room, and they checked her out. And I think I don't know if they can. You can give pregnant women almost nothing. They like don't recommend anything for you. So I don't know if they gave her anything. Sometimes there's like an anti-nausea thing, I think, which can be helpful because it
probably just putting fluids on her.
Dissolves.
Yeah.
But
I actually have, that's Zofran, right? That you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if pregnant ladies can take it. So I don't think she took anything. But she goes, so she goes through that whole thing. I couldn't get an earlier flight back because I was already flying in like 3 hours anyway. So I get home. She's super sick. She then recovers. And then I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
And just like you, I'm such a baby when I get sick like
worst
this.
Patient.
She's like a superhuman because she's 8 months pregnant and she has 2 kids to like, chase around. I get sick and I'm like, I just lay in bed for 4 days.
Me too.
And it was everywhere. It
I
was
got a lot of nerve calling women the weaker sex at a moment like that. You got a lot of nerve.
I actually wrote her it was funny because she still has it, but on my phone, I had like a fever dream or something, but I couldn't believe how strong she was to get through it.
Yeah.
Being pregnant.
Yeah.
And I wrote her this really long fever dream letter. I'm just like, it's amazing. I can't believe you did this. Because she's like, she was taking care of me. I was so sick. I literally couldn't stand up. It was awful.
She's like, okay, big guy.
Yeah. And I sent it to her and I'm expecting like some sort of like a Mark Twain prize or something for literature because it's such a beautiful letter. I thought.
Right. Where's my Pulitzer?
I was just like so sick. Barely legible. Didn't make any sense.
Oh.
Anyway, it's a horrible thing. So
it is, and they got the school. They cleaned and sanitized.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, this happens on cruise ships.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the breeding grounds.
And when they get it on cruise ships, they actually force you. They sequester you in your room.
Oh yeah, and they won't let your ship dock.
You can't
at port.
You can't get off.
Right.
I don't know if the ships can't dock.
I've heard stories where they will quarantine a ship. Right. If the whole ship comes down, boom, you're staying out there till you get this thing
you're
settled. Doctors are coming. Supplies are coming to you. You're not bringing that into port.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Which is why when you go on cruise ships, every turn you make, every room you walk into, there's a little a sanitizer thing.
You bet.
It's the worst. So avoid it if you can. All right. Speaking of sicknesses, did you see this story? This guy out of Canada? I assume it's a guy. This doesn't sound like something a lady would do. There was a tourist in our area, apparently, who was in Washington doing a bunch of stuff, and they apparently had the measles. They found out about it when they got back to Canada, so they have to call back here and say, hey, by the way, we got measles, and here's where you need to worry about it because here's where I went. So public health officials, measles exposure, this person went to. The crazy thing about this person was here between April 30th and May 3rd, and they have a list of every single thing that they did.
Yeah.
And why, if you were at any one of these places, then you need to, I don't know, I guess stress out.
It's a minute by minute.
Oh,
yeah.
And this person was all around town. Like Seattle, Renton, Woodinville,
Bellevue, Stoop Brewing, LA Fitness.
Topgolf.
I understand the Topgolf, but why'd you go to an LA Fitness? You're on vacation. What are you doing there?
Who exercises on vacation? Canadians. That's who exercise on vacations.
These Canadians exercising on vacation.
And bringing it
Seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada came along. Brave Canada.
Yes.
But how conscientious was this guy to come down and give the report? Say, look, hey man, I was infected. This is where.
I'm pretty sure he
and the
probably
minute
just
by
called.
minute,
he didn't come back down.
But he didn't have to even say he was here.
Yeah, I guess it's nice that he let people know.
That he said he let the health department know that I was in Everett, I was in Bellevue, I was in Renton, I was in Woodinville, I was in Seattle, I went to Wajimaya, I went to work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a brag, but
yeah, I did a super great hard workout at LA Fitness.
Did a total 2-hour massive crunch, CrossFit, throwing tars,
legs
with
and
the
arms,
measles.
same day.
Dunn Lumber. Sushi.
What's he doing at Dunn Lumber? What are you doing at Dunn Lumber?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. You're on vacation.
Running errands. Maybe you're here visiting friends, family. You're with your house guest.
The Canadian dollar's not as strong right now as the American dollar.
You're going to buy hinges.
Wood. And the wood you're going to buy in Canada is going to be way cheaper than the wood you're buying here.
Not taking 2x4s or
taking
4x8 sheets of plywood back
over the border. What's he doing?
No, it's not. Maybe it was a fever dream. He had measles. Wasn't
That's
thinking
true.
clear.
I mean, a lot of these make
Came here
sense.
and bought bulk lumber at higher prices.
Resident Inn, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's where
yeah.
you stand.
Okay,
LA
right,
Fitness,
okay, yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
No.
Chateau Saint Michel Winery, that makes sense.
Makes sense. I go
Home
there.
Depot doesn't make sense.
No,
Dunn Lumber doesn't make sense. Top Golf makes sense. LA Fitness doesn't make sense. He went more than once. This sicko working out on a vacation. That scares me more than the
restaurants
measles.
everywhere he went too, man. God, someone.
Apparently Canadians like to eat. What a weirdo. You're probably fine though if you've gotten your measles vaccine. Or,
Derek said during the news update, if you've got your vaccine, you're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine.
You built up these immunities your entire life. But if you haven't, it's nice to know that we've got a My Northwest story there about where
you wanna freak
he was
yourself
at.
out. Yeah.
In case, make sure you weren't crossing paths with this guy somewhere.
I guess.
Right?
For all the good it's going to do you. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. There's an activist that went up into a tree, as they tend to do. Is he still there? Is that person
I believe
still
still there? Yeah, as of this broadcast, there over almost a week now, I think.
We're going to show you a video next. I'm going to a picture actually. I'm going to post a picture on the YouTube page for you guys to look at, and I want you to look at there with me. This person does not come down, and I am going to bet you have the same question that I do when you see somebody stuck up there for a week. Where in the heck are they going to the bathroom? We're going to investigate. Coming up next.
The picture tells 1,000.
Unfortunately, the picture's telling us a lot. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The closing bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Announcing the newest, most beautiful senior living community around. It's the grand opening of Vineyard Park at North Creek Bothell, a Care Partners senior living community. Amanda here. Discover vibrant, independent, assisted living and memory care where seniors thrive with top-notch care, engaging activities, and a warm, welcoming environment. Visit carepartnersliving.com now to schedule a visit and be one of the first to call Vineyard Park at North Creek home. The grand opening of Vineyard Park at North Creek Bothell going on now. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Integrity Roofing and Construction. Homeowners, protect your biggest investment now with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Get ahead of the summer rush. Integrity, your family-owned, award-winning roofing and construction company, is ready to give your home the protection it deserves. Integrity offers a complete in-house construction division for all your projects. Integrity Roofing is known for top-notch service and on-site project management that makes every process easy. Beat the summer rush and call Integrity today at 206-202-ROOF. That's 206-202-ROOF. And get a free estimate, or find them online at integrityrc.com, integrityrc.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
John Curley here. Smart homeowners are upgrading heat pumps and air conditioners now before the summer heat wave with incredible rebates and discounts that'll save you up to $6,000. Home Comfort Alliance makes paying easy with 18 months, same as cash financing. Call Home Comfort Alliance today for a free quote and save up to $6,000. For your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, visit homecomfortalliance.com today. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants. Up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishing champions.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Welcome back to the show. All right, I saw this story. There's a tree sitter. Not somebody babysitting a tree, actually like sitting up in a tree. There's an activist holding a vigil 80 feet up, a grand fir. Port Angeles resident, 25 years old, declines to be identified, does not want anyone to know their identity, like a superhero. Climbed up this tree on May 8th, a few miles outside of Port Angeles, to protest a planned, this is from the Seattle Times, to protest a planned logging of the state's parched timber sale. Parched timber sale. What do you think that means? Parched timber sale.
I think it's parched is the name of the area that they're logging.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like thirsty.
Thirsty trees. I may be wrong, but I think that's it.
Parched timber.
This is one of the older stands of timber in the state. Mm-hmm. They're very mature trees, so they're very valuable.
That's a high,
and they're very wide, broad.
Sure.
So it's a valuable piece of timber. I mean, it's valuable a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
And this guy thinks that it needs to be preserved for future generations. The state's opened this up. The state does a great job, by the way, in preservation. Washington is one of the greatest preservation programs and restoration programs for lumber in this country.
Yeah, there's more trees today than there were like 100 years ago in Washington. They plant so many trees.
And that's the thing. It's when you get these, they're all second, third, fourth generation growths.
Yeah.
Through reforestation.
Yeah.
And you get these older ones that are so valuable, and the state needs the revenue to sell off these assets.
Most people don't think of trees as a crop, but it really is treated as a crop.
Yeah,
much like somebody who grows a massive crop of corn. We also do that in our state with trees, and it takes generations for these trees to grow, but they do. And then at some point, it is time to harvest that crop. But this guy doesn't like it. He's 25. I assume it's a guy. Again, this seems like a stupid thing that a guy would do. I can't imagine a girl would go up there for too long.
I don't know. I've met some ladies with heart and commitment.
This looks like a guy to me.
They
in
have
the
too
image.
much brain to me. Girls are too smart to do this. We're going to post this on YouTube right now. You can go to youtube.com, search the Jake and Spike Show. We're going to see let's go through these pictures together, shall we, Spike? So this is the platform. This is what's drawing attention. Initially, they had actually stationed police officers nearby to guard the area to make sure that this person was safe. And they have since pulled back on that because I guess this thing is rigged. I was reading this article from Seattle Times. It's rigged in such a way that if anybody messes with it, then it falls.
Yeah, there are those big stone blockades, as you mentioned, blocking up road access. And if you move those blockades to get access to this this timber road,
this person falls to their death.
Right. Yes. You are literally taking the access of law enforcement away because it's risking the safety of the person protesting.
We're looking at pictures right now of this protester. They have constructed. If you're not watching on YouTube and the live Jake and Spike Show page, what you're not seeing right now because you're listening is they have constructed some sort of a platform. It looks almost like a where somebody might sleep. It's very elaborate actually, but somebody who mountain climbs, you know how they sleep on the side of mountains and these little
almost like a perch almost. Yeah.
And they have built what looks like some sort of a plywood and 2x4 base, which is then connected at the 4 points, at the 4 corners with climbing rope. It then is wrapped in a tarp as the roof, which makes it look like kind of a little tent. It just looks like a tent hanging from 80 feet up a tree. A lot of 5-gallon buckets. What do you think those are for, Spike? A lot of 5-gallon buckets.
To put it as cleanly as I can.
Storage for what? Just corn nuts?
The things people make. Some of this stuff. They're bringing fresh food up to this.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and that's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty considerate that you don't just hang over the side of the platform and
below.
Right?
They're not pigeons.
Nope.
So I was that was my first question when I was watching this. When I saw the story, I was like, "Where does this person's been up there since May 8th? So what? 6 days now they've been up in this tree.
Yeah.
Where are they going to the bathroom? And now we know a lot of 5-gallon buckets.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3,
10,
4,
right?
5, 6, 7. Jeez Louise, what are they eating burritos up there? That's a crazy amount of 5-gallon buckets.
Hey, when you live in a tree, you'll take any free food you can get.
I guess. That's wild. That's too many buckets. Ultimately, of course, this tree will come down, right?
As that section. It's been sold for timber, for harvesting.
Yeah.
There are lawsuits right now trying to fight the sale, and those are pending. But the companies that are hiring people to do this foresting work and counting on the resources, they've got equipment in place. It's money being lost as this job that's been legally, this contract's been given.
Yeah, state money.
And the activist is just trying to delay the forestation of this, or the deforestation of this, the harvesting, I should say.
Obviously,
harvesting.
This is an attention grab. There's a massive sign that they put out. They want to get attention and draw.
Defend the Elwha forest.
There you go. Yeah. Well, good for them, I guess, for doing their thing, and I hope they're safe up there. I'm not a person who loves people hanging out in trees and pooping in buckets. It's not what I would do with my time, but to each his own. All right, we have a ton of stuff to get to in the 2 p.m. hour. I can't believe how much stuff we haven't gotten to yet. You're going to love it. Spike's going to love it. Laura's going to love it. I'm going to love it. We'll be right back. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high 8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high 8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing. So it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Did you know that over the past 10 years, home values have increased the most during the first quarter of the year? So how much is your home worth right now? Check it out instantly at sellwithwest.com. Sure, there are other apps out there you can use, but most of them are national companies. If you want local expertise, someone who actually knows what's happening with the housing market in your neighborhood, there's no one more local than West Jones. If you're even thinking about making a move in 2025, go to sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com and start by using their free home value calculator to see what your home is worth. It might be worth more than you think. You'll get so much more than just a number from Wes Jones. We're talking about recent sales in your neighborhood, the market temperature in your city, side-by-side comparisons of multiple online estimates. You can even calculate how much equity you have, and even a breakdown of how your home's value has changed over time. So here's what you have to do. Go to sellwithwest.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll have instant access to all of this and more. It's fast, easy, it's local. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence, Feature Reporting, and Sports Reporting.
Sneakers squeak across the Storm's new practice facility. In Seattle, Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you.
Inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
On KIRO News Radio, YouTube, the app, and 97.3 FM.
It may be the most noble profession.
Come on.
It's the work of heroes.
Heroes?
You want to live without plumbing?
Well, no.
Then you need plumbers.
Right.
Thing is, so do I.
You need plumbers.
Smiles, actually.
Smiling plumbers?
Or someone who smiles and wants to become an Apollo plumber.
A smile. That's what it takes?
Skills are something we can teach.
Sure.
But a positive attitude comes from within.
That's a big part of being an Apollo plumber.
The biggest part.
What else?
A desire to learn and serve.
Just like every Apollo plumber.
As they learn, so shall they earn.
Earn?
Apollo plumbers can earn 6 figures.
Enough to make me smile.
We believe you get what you give.
Give a smile.
And Apollo service.
Get a smile.
A well-paid smile.
Driving one of those big blue Apollo trucks.
That's the goal.
Does seem pretty noble.
It's important, satisfying work.
And you're looking now?
There's always room for another smile around here.
On the Apollo Plumbing team.
Apply at apolloplumbing.com.
Enjoy your drive home with the John Curley Show.
You don't realize the connection you make through radio. Just this thing where people are stuck in their car and you develop this relationship.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 on KIRO News Radio.
I just learned 10% of our electricity in Washington comes from nuclear energy.
I've heard it's reliable and has a small footprint, but what about the waste?
It's not what you might think. No overflowing dumpsters or leaking barrels. Used fuel is safely stored in solid form after powering homes, schools, and businesses for years. All nuclear power plants in the U.S. store their used fuel responsibly to protect the environment.
Where can I learn more?
You can learn about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. It is hot in Texas, even more so than usual for springtime. It's a lingering heat, as Chris Fox reports from Austin.
Extreme heat warnings in effect till 9 p.m. from Austin down to San Antonio and all along the Texas-Mexico border. Heat preparedness measures already in place due to expected temperatures ranging from 105 up to 110. Austin Mayor Kirk Watson.
This is the type of heat we generally don't start seeing until July. It's unwelcome and it's unwanted, but it's here.
Wes Hopkins is with the Austin Travis County EMS.
This is the earliest that we've seen triple-digit heats in approximately 40 years.
The heat wave is expected through the weekend. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
In Virginia, a 12-year-old boy was swept away by raging floodwaters yesterday. Parts of West Virginia and Maryland were hard hit.
Roads throughout the area are being destroyed. This is some of the most severe flooding we have ever seen.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testified before lawmakers today. Many wanted to know why he was making such drastic cuts to the agency. CBS's Nicole Killian.
He was peppered with a lot of questions from Democrats, more specifically about some of the cuts that the agency has made, particularly to NIH grants. That is something the secretary pushed back on, saying that we are not withholding money from life-saving research and drugs.
At another hearing, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy pointed fingers at the previous administration for the ongoing aviation problems.
The infrastructure didn't rot in the last 100 days. We didn't have 3,000 controller shortages in the last 100 days. There was 4 years that came before.
A Georgetown University scholar from India was released from immigration detention today on orders from a judge. Badr Khan-Suri was detained in March and his visa revoked because of social media posts and his wife's connection to Gaza. She's Palestinian-American. Sophia Gregg is an attorney with the ACLU of Virginia.
He should have never been arrested and jailed for his constitutionally protected speech just because the government disagrees with him.
A new study finds working long hours doesn't just leave you tired. It alters the structure of your brain. Vicki Barker reports.
South Korean researchers found significant differences in the brains of people who work more than 52 hours a week. There was increased volume in parts of the brain governing alertness or efficiency, but the researchers say the long-term effects of that could be negative, resulting in fatigue, emotional instability, and possibly reduced cognitive efficiency. Non-scientists like us might call that burnout.
This is CBS News.
A word from Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard, so Progressive can make bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
A new plan to make the Chinatown ID safer and bring in more business. That story coming up. But first, this traffic report brought to you by AAA. Roads looking mostly clear throughout the region. Travel times, Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. Bellevue to Renton, 28 minutes. Renton to Puyallup, 44 minutes. Are you a last-minute summer planner? Let AAA help. From road trip preparations to hotel bookings, visit AAA.com today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Derek Wing. A new initiative to boost business and public safety in the Chinatown International District. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
Mayor Bruce Harrell was joined by community partners and Amazon to provide $1 million in new investments in the CID. The goal is to create a safer neighborhood, help those struggling with addiction and homelessness, and to help small businesses thrive. Mayor Harrell says a big part of that is a new CID ambassador program.
They'll support tourists and local residents. They'll build relationships and provide assistance to business owners. They'll help foster safe environments through de-escalation.
Mayor Harrell says the CID ambassadors will work 7 days a week from 2 to 10 p.m. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A 5-year-old Pierce County boy has died after exposure to fentanyl in his own home. And his aunt and uncle tell KIRO 7 TV they repeatedly warned authorities about unsafe conditions there.
Should do more, CPS should do more, and anybody that went into that home and saw his living conditions and didn't call is also part of the problem.
I don't understand why nothing was done or why he wasn't removed from the home after so many calls.
The boy's mother, Jordan Shank, has been charged with first-degree manslaughter. Starbucks' new dress code took effect this week, and now more than 1,000 baristas at 75 U.S. stores have gone on strike. The dress code calls for solid black shirts under their green aprons and khaki, black, or blue denim bottoms. The union says the dress code should be subject to collective bargaining, and it's filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. Starbucks says the new rules will make its green aprons stand out more and create a sense of familiarity for customers. One of the biggest hospitals in our region, Valley Medical Center, is closing multiple facilities and clinics in Renton, Kent, and Covington. Valley Med tells the Renton Reporter the hospital's losing money in part because of recent federal cuts. Now to the weather, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Currently cloudy with some sun breaks. A high of near 60 today. Right now, 56 degrees in Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours behind us, 1 hour ahead of us. You were in for a fabulous time. You're going to feel good, too. If you're just joining us for the first time, the show is going to make you feel real good. You're going to love it. You're going to love the way you feel after you finish this.
Guarantee it?
I guarantee. Well,
yeah, you can. Do it.
I guarantee it.
Do it, yeah.
I guarantee.
Absolutely.
You're going to love the way you feel. I guarantee it.
Yep.
Is that copyrighted?
I don't know. I think it might be.
It might be.
Allegedly.
Oh, so you're going to love the way you look.
There you go. You love the way you feel.
We're
That's
different.
us. Boom. It's
You're
better.
going to love the way you feel.
And it's better to feel good than just look good.
But you know what? I've heard the exact opposite from folks. They say it's better to look good than to feel good.
I don't believe that for a minute. But we have both, so who cares, right? Why are we splitting hairs?
You and I both look good and we feel good.
Great.
You're absolutely right.
Right?
But they often say, like, people say
Fake
skinny.
it till you make it?
Well, no, they say, I'm just thinking of, they say skinny feels better than, what does the saying go? It's like something feels better
Skinny feels better than fat taste.
Than fat taste?
Than cake
Who's
taste.
eating fat?
No, I've heard that before.
Does it taste as good as skinny feels?
Oh, it doesn't taste as good as skinny feels. That's it. Yeah.
That's when you make
Trust
the decision
me to know, yeah.
whether you're going to eat that or not, right?
That's when you're denying yourself something.
Boy, if
Well, you're staring longingly at cake or
Yeah.
like Kourtney Kardashian sniffing a donut.
What?
You guys didn't see that meme?
No.
No? Oh,
Is that
it's
enough?
dark.
My
Is
wife.
that
She
enough
goes,
for her?
It's enough just to smell how good it might be. And she takes a big
That's
sniff
as close
of the
as she can get
donuts.
to it?
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's troubling, man.
That's sick.
Not like she's got billions to soothe her fractured soul.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not something I do. I don't smell donuts. I eat them.
Well, I smell them on the way in, but
Yeah.
that doesn't stop there.
I don't even have time to smell them. I just eat them so fast.
Follow your nose down the street.
Somebody starts saying that skinny tastes better, and I go, nope. And I eat it. I go, rah, 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 rah.
Nope.
Or you say, okay, and grab it off
Yeah.
their plate before they can change their
Yeah,
mind.
thanks. More for me.
Look at us working together.
You stay skinny. I'll have your donut. Brought to you by Top Pot. All right. There is a story that everybody's talking about, and so will we. This is an amazing story of survival. It's an incredibly tragic, sad story because 3 people did lose their lives in this horrible hiking accident that just happened the other day. But one guy actually did make it out. There was 4 climbers, King County residents, actually. They were climbing in the North Cascades. Where did this happen? What is this place called again? I can't
It's
pronounce
up
it.
near the Okanagan.
It's called Early Winter Couleur. Is that the 4 were rock climbing in the Early Winter Couleur? I don't know how to pronounce that. Couloir. How do you pronounce that?
I think Couleur. I think you're right. Yeah.
Couloir?
Couloir?
It seems French.
Well, they were hiking somewhere. And they said, this is the wild part. Listen to this. The 4 were rock climbing and started descending in the wedge between the north and the south spires after noticing that a storm was coming in.
Right.
Apparently, conditions in this area can be really, really scary, and they can change quickly. Like hour to hour, the conditions can change.
Yeah,
we're still early enough in the year where you can get some bad, icy storms. They actually require, if you're going to climb up in this area, there's different things you have to bring with you in order to be successful. Ice tools, rope, all these different things. The rope makes sense, but the ice tools gives you some idea of what the conditions are like. And they said that all 4 were tied to the same anchor point when you're climbing up.
And I read in the story enough. My father-in-law was a mountaineer.
Oh, okay.
Rock climber. My wife's done some rock climbing, but not to this extent. And they, by all accounts, these guys all had proper gear. They all had proper training. It's not recommended that 4 guys could be all roped off to the same anchor point.
Yep.
Which is what happened here, and the anchor point failed.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The gear seemed to be completely intact and wasn't worn out. They weren't taking any shortcuts. They just were all anchored to the same point that failed.
Sometimes it just happens.
And they fell 200 feet approximately in a steep
200 feet down,
straight down, and then hit and rolled for 200 feet more.
And then another 200 foot, kind of a slighter grade.
And three guys lost their lives.
400 feet, horrifying. One of the things they were saying, the anchor point that they were all hooked up to, again, they said not preferred, 4 people being anchored to the same point, but one of the dangerous things is they're trying to determine where they were actually anchored. And a lot of times, anchor points are left in place for a long time.
Right.
And in the story, it says investigators are trying to determine whether the climbers were using a pre-existing anchor point, which apparently does happen. And they say, you don't know how long these anchor points have been up there. They said you could be climbing a route and come across a piton, P-I-T-O-N. I'm not a rock climber, obviously, but apparently that's what these anchor points are called. An anchor point is known as a piton, P-I-T-O-N. And it may have been there for decades. And you think about the harsh weather and the ice that gets in these things and the water that expands.
Heating, the cooling, expansion, contraction,
everything.
Yeah.
So you just don't know if it's going to hold one of you, but certainly multiple anchor points is preferable. So 3 of them presumably die during the fall. 1 of them survives and now has to figure out, and it's a secluded area. So how do you get out when you have injuries and you don't know how bad your injuries are? So this guy apparently hiked back down. Just think of the state. Think of the mental state that you're going through right there. You're probably aware at that point that you've lost 3 people you're very close with.
You may be where you don't know. Your thought is to get help. That's what he tried to do.
Yeah.
Guy say he hiked out to his vehicle and then drove.
A multiple-hour hike out to his vehicle so he could go and drive to a payphone and find a payphone that he could, that had service somewhere, and he could call up authorities. And
had to drive 42 miles to the nearest phone.
And again,
with
internal injuries
and traumatic head injury.
He was then transferred to Harborview Medical Center. Let's see here. David Yarnell, Okanagan County Undersheriff David Yarnell said by phone, he said this guy didn't realize that he had a significant how significant his internal injuries were. But this is survival mode, so it doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to just lay there and do nothing.
And he's trying to get help to his 3 climbing friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who knows what he knew at that point.
So scary.
If he could even reach or see or, know where his buddies were.
Do you said your wife sometimes rock climbs?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any interest in doing that? It seems so. Have you seen Free Solo? Have you guys seen Free Solo, that documentary?
Oh, yeah.
Won an Academy Award a few years ago,
Edge of my seat. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, it's scary as hell. I mean, the danger in rock climbing is...
Well, and they're following the guy making the documentary, who's gone on to make some other fantastic adventure documentaries, including a Nepalese man who climbed all 14 peaks.
I saw that.
Yeah, which is so good.
Really good.
But they're filming him the whole time during Free Solo, and he's like, I might watch my friend fall on camera, and there's nothing I can do.
And free soloing is where you're climbing without the aid of ropes. You're just climbing by your wits, and you're holding on. And this guy, he set the record, right? He climbed up El Capitan in Yosemite, and isn't that what free solo is about? He set the record for the the fastest free solo of that rock face. You should watch it, Spike.
I will. I can't fathom first off the physical capabilities of these individuals who do this.
Yeah.
The fear factor alone. I got stuck on a rock face as a very young kid.
Did you really?
Teenager.
What happened?
A young teen. We were climbing rocks. We lived in a somewhat rural part of Baltimore City, the northeast corner of the city, very suburban. And we had not a river, a creek that ran through the neighborhood it went all the way out to the bay. And lots of rock formations around it as it wove its way through over, eons, millennias. And we used to climb on these rocks, and we did it quite often. And one time I was, climbing up to this rock and got to a point where I couldn't go any further and couldn't go back, and literally had to have friends go for help, and they had to lower a rope down to me that I fastened around my waist, and they hauled me up as I, shimmied up this rock face. And from that point on, I want nothing to do with high adventure. I'm done.
I've done indoor rock climbing, like the rock climbing different
and
things.
Melissa does that with friends.
Yeah, it's great exercise. But again, you're climbing in a very protected environment.
You got harnesses, you got ropes, you got
harnesses,
the whole nine.
You got pads below you so you could fall, and you're probably just worst you're going to do is break an ankle.
But the hour plus I was waiting for rescue on this rock face, that's enough for me. That's my life's worth.
That would scar me for life too.
I'm done.
Yeah. So scary.
Same reason I don't ride on top of moving cars anymore. One time I was done.
Did you ride on top of a moving car?
We were stupid. We climbed out of a moving car and stood on the roof.
What do they call that? Something surfing.
Car surfing.
Car
Yeah,
surfing.
you bet. Yep.
Boy, young people are dumb.
And there was
specifically young
no
men.
video.
Young men are so
Yeah,
dumb.
thank goodness. Knock wood. No video. Pre-social media, pre-phone cameras.
How old were you?
For
Can I
that one,
guess? Let me
20.
guess. I was going to say 24.
22, 23, 24. Yeah, somewhere in there. Probably about that. Yeah.
My a close family member had to have a lung transplant a couple years ago.
Oh my!
It's a big deal. It's a big thing.
That's
to
a
get lung
massive.
transplant.
Yeah,
It's a huge thing.
Holy.
And she's kind of a smaller lady, as ladies tend to be. And so the doctor was, and you have to go on a list. You have to go on a waiting list.
Okay.
Because, there's other people who need lungs.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Got to wait. Wow. Just like a kidney transplant, there's just, you never know when you're going to get a set of lungs that are going to work for you and ones that fit you and everything.
Yeah.
And so the surgeons told her just to set her expectations for how long this is going to take to be on this list.
Yeah.
And you're running against the clock at that point.
Right. You need a
lung
lung transplant. Your life expectancy is short.
Yeah. And they said if you needed the lungs of a 24-year-old male, I could have you lungs in probably the next hour. Because 24-year-old males are statistically the most common thrill-seeking age of the person that dies.
Yeah,
It's he was like, if you need the lungs of a 24-year-old male, he goes, we got a lot of those riding motorcycles, and we get those every day, all day. Isn't that crazy?
It sounds nuts, but when you play it out, it makes perfect sense.
Makes sense.
Those are the thrill seekers.
And those wouldn't have fit in her body.
Right.
And so they said, well, unfortunately, we can't get those for you because they're not going to do anything for you. But she ended up getting lungs, and this is 5 years in the past and doing great now.
No kidding. Oh, good.
Yeah. No,
Thank
it's
goodness.
amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
A real blessing. But the thrill-seeking 24-year-old, that always stuck with me. That stat, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Well, when I see, I see these guys doing stupid, and myself at the time, I'm not good because I can't believe Lord must have had something bigger planned for me because all the stupid stuff we did in our youth.
Yeah.
Me and my friends, and not you. I'm assuming you made great choices all the way through.
No, I didn't.
But it doesn't surprise me that young men, adventure seekers, thrill-seeking young men who think they're invincible, we all did at that age.
Yeah.
That's the ones who have tragic accidents who become donors.
Oh, it scares the heck out of me. With my 4 boys, I think
rite of passage, though, right? Don't you have to have those moments in your life that you find the boundaries, you found the guardrails?
And I don't know how to prevent them from having those moments. I don't want to prevent them. I'm even seeing that now. They're doing things now physically that I know they're going to get hurt.
Sure.
But I know.
We talked last break about putting a zip line in your backyard.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I know they're good. And one of my kids is a thrill-seeking kid, and he's already broken both of his arms.
Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but yeah.
No,
I know
but
the
he's
type.
only 8 years old. He's already broken each of his arms.
Yep, there's your motorcycle
If he had
rider.
another one, he would have broken it by now. And so it's like, how do you?
Why has he broken both arms? Because he only had 2.
Yeah, he only had 2 to break. And it makes me, it's just, I'm looking down the road. I'm like, all right, how do I let them have these experiences that I had? I'm sure my parents had to make the same decisions, just like yours did.
Yeah.
You can watch them from a distance and knowing the things they're going to do are going to cause them pain.
Yeah.
But there are also going to be lessons that they're going to learn. And there are some things that they just have to figure out for themselves.
Got to fall. Learn to pick yourself up. You can give them good equipment, good training. That's what you can do as a parent.
Yep.
Right? Invest in safety gear. Loris, but the last couple of commercial breaks, you haven't been around for our commercial breaks on the YouTube channel. You're missing some of the epic fails of all time. And none of these clam dips. We're watching this montage.
We did a skateboard
of
fail
skateboard
last
fails.
Commercial break.
Not a helmet in the bunch.
Yeah.
I rode a skateboard for years. I mean, yes.
Good for you.
Elbow pads, knee pads, gloves. Good
People
gloves.
helmet everything now.
Seriously.
My kids wear helmets to bed.
Thank you.
Tons of helmets. Too much.
That's what you can do as a parent. You let them have the thrills, but you teach them how to do things. You get them. You guys got motorbikes yet? Are you a motorbike family?
We haven't yet, but I had one when I was a kid.
Right, yeah, of course you did.
It was
the
best.
The best. And you do it safely.
Yeah.
You get them lessons. You teach them to do it safely. You give them boundaries.
That really wasn't my experience, but
well, for you as when you were a young guy.
Yeah, we didn't do lessons.
That's what you can do though. How can you give them these opportunities to be adventurous, to find their limits and push beyond their limits, but safely.
But I also want them to have that adventurous spirit.
Yeah.
I want them to go out and try to conquer the world. I don't want to stifle any of that by protecting them too much.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
It is a fine line.
Yeah.
Like my parents, when I was a kid, it was a different time. We're growing up in a different time.
Yeah,
but
here.
But we just didn't have those. I mean, we didn't have boundaries on where we could go. I would get on my motorbike when I was 12 years old in the morning. My neighbor had one too. And the two of us, we'd load up our backpacks with Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Which is like
rocket fuel.
Yeah, rocket fuel. We'd leave in the morning in the summertime. It was the best.
Right.
I'd load it up with Mountain Dew, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Boom.
And my pellet gun with extra CO2 canisters or cartridges, just in case.
Right.
I had to take care of some business.
Right.
If somebody was fronting on me or something, a squirrel got in my way. Right. And I would head off with a gun on a motorbike. And we'd be gone all day.
Right, running through the woods.
And my parents
trails, boom, yeah.
Didn't think anything of it.
Sure.
Or if they did, they didn't say anything.
Come home
about
before
it.
dark, eat dinner somewhere. My folks would yell.
Eat those sandwiches so you don't feel sick when you come home.
Nothing but Mountain Dew. I don't want to come back with a backpack full of sandwiches and your tummy hurting.
Yeah. But I'm not going to send my kids out these days. They've never even tasted normal soda. Like, it's a whole different world they're living in. And I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what are we doing to these kids? And we're giving them a lot of protections, but it's like, they're not even allowed to eat certain types of popsicles. My wife's like, it's got too much stuff in it.
Hey,
And
man,
she's not wrong.
You look at the generation that I grew up in, and you guys are a generation behind me. Laura's behind you, but I wish my folks hadn't given us most of the stuff we ate. My whole generation's full of cancer, this and thyroid, that, and diabetes, type 2, 3, 5, and 7.
I used to sit there.
Everything we ate was chock full of poisons, preservatives, and dyes.
Horrible stuff. I used to just eat
these
sugar
are made from
cubes.
real Flintstones. Nom, 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 nom. God knows what was in this.
Flintstones
We're
were
delicious.
Great. Yeah, they're great. It's a vitamins.
Sure.
Flintstones, kids.
Yeah, with red dye number 8.
People
whatever.
loved them.
They loved them.
I still love them.
So your lovely wife, she's doing the right thing. You learn. You do a little better than the generation
It's a
before you.
push-pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Real quick here. Jamie Lee Curtis made an emotional plea to Mark Zuckerberg, apparently, about AI images. AI is getting crazy. We were talking about this the other day. AI is getting wild. We played the audio of that teacher yesterday who quit her job.
Right.
Because she said kids are now using AI for everything, and they're not learning anything, and they're just using AI.
So I'm going to find a profession where I can be useful because I can't give these kids, nothing I do will help these kids.
Nothing for these kids.
The ship has sailed.
Yeah. So Jamie Lee Curtis, she made this plea. She put this out on Facebook. She says, "It's come to this, Zuck. We have never met. I've gone through every proper channel to ask you and your team to take down this totally AI fake commercial for some BS that I didn't authorize or agree to endorse." Apparently somebody posted a video, like a very believable AI, because they look real.
They do.
Totally real.
And like you said yesterday, what we're looking at today is the worst AI we will ever see.
It's just going to get better. She was basically using social media as a way to shame Facebook into finally taking this thing down, because it was her using her voice, everything, replicating her exactly, but advertising something she said she would never advertise. And apparently within 2 hours of her posting that, it's an open letter, even though she had previously tried to get her agent and her lawyers.
Went through all the proper channels, talked to everybody she could get her hands on.
Facebook wouldn't do it,
Right.
but as soon as they put an open letter out, Facebook finally took it down. She says, yay, internet, shame has its value.
Isn't that funny? I mean, try all the legal moves you want.
Just shame them.
It's not just, I want to point the fingers just at Facebook, but every platform, they've absolved themselves of any responsibility of what they post in the name of free speech, which I treasure free speech. But they say it's not our job to police content. It kind of is, you know?
If you're using somebody's likeness,
That's
the tough thing. It's
Yeah.
like she makes her money as a person.
That's her livelihood,
We all make
her
our money as a person.
credibility.
But yeah, she's like a
Right?
visual.
Yeah.
She's on screen.
And as she's got tons of endorsements throughout the course of her career, she's a trusted brand ambassador.
Doesn't she advertise for adult diapers? Is that her?
Well, there was a yogurt
is it
that
the
helped you
gut
go.
health?
Gut
Oh, the
health.
gut-
yeah. The yogurt.
Probiotic.
And she said, you know what? It works for me. I'm not ashamed to use it and endorse it. I have faith in it.
Yeah, I'm in a diaper right now.
You do speak with confidence. I wonder how you achieve that. That makes perfect sense.
Because I never get up out of my seat.
That's right. But to her point, she's like, you're messing with my livelihood. And it took shame. It took public shaming.
And it worked.
For her to make a public saying, hey, Zuck, how about a little help here?
Yep.
How about helping a girl out?
100%. All right. We got a lot more coming up. We got your text messages, which is a lot of fun. They're making a spinoff of The Office. What is this? We'll tell you about it in a little bit. That's got to be the most popular comedy of all time, don't you think?
Yes, and I love that it's not just another reiteration of it. It's not like, The Office New Zealand.
No.
Because, The Office was...
Well, The Office is worldwide. It's in every country.
First was Ricky Gervais made the British version. And then it came to America, and they did a brilliant job here in America.
But every country has their own version now.
Yeah.
But this is actually like a spin-off.
Yeah.
A proper spin-off.
Good.
So we'll tell you what that
great characters
is going to look like. If it's going to be successful, we'll let you be the judge. And head on over to YouTube right now. Look up Jake and Spike, and we'll see you on the commercial break. See what we're playing. You're going to enjoy it. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
Hello, Seattle. It's your friendly neighbor, the T-Mobile Park roof. From up here, I can see it all. Folks pouring in from the street, the sun setting over the sound, the roar of the crowd as Luis Castillo pumps his fist, and the joy of the J-Rod squad as Julio snares a deep fly ball at the wall.
He reaches up with a leap and he makes the catch!
And all the faces smiling with every perfectly grilled hot dog and swirl of soft serve. When the final out's made, I'll be right up here, lighting the W and soaking it all in. Mariners baseball. Try it inside.
Check out what's on deck at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are back in town in late May, and it's your chance to score a Randy Arozarena bobblehead during the 3-day giveaway May 27th through 29th. Then don't miss the first Mariners fireworks night on May 30th, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage expert. Steve, mortgage rates have been dropping this year. How could that help seniors struggling to stay in their homes?
Lower mortgage rates mean seniors can now get more money from their equity with a reverse mortgage. You can pay off your existing mortgage, have extra money to help with today's high cost of living, or believe it or not, you can even buy a home with a reverse mortgage. There are many uses, and best of all, you have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants. Up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishing champions.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Derek Wing. Qatar Airways and Boeing are announcing a new deal for up to 210 planes with a sale price of close to $100 billion. Aviation expert Richard Abulafia says Qatar needed to replace part of its aging fleet.
So I don't think anything is new that wouldn't have happened otherwise, but it was an opportunity to place a large order, which is, again, welcome news.
The deal includes twin-aisle 787s built in South Carolina and 777-9 airplanes made in Everett. The White House says the deal will create 154,000 jobs in the U.S. President Trump announcing the deal in Qatar with Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg.
That's a record, Kelly. And congratulations to Boeing. Get those planes out there.
CBS's Jason Brooks says it's been a good week for Boeing.
Earlier this week, Boeing signed a deal with a Saudi-based aircraft leasing company for 20 737 MAX jets. Boeing shares have rallied this week also on reports that China has removed restrictions on Boeing deliveries to Chinese airlines after being forced to return several undelivered airlines from China back to the U.S.
King County Public Health is warning that a Canadian visitor was contagious with the measles while traveling to multiple places in King and Snohomish counties earlier this month. We've listed those locations at mynorthwest.com. If you're up to date on your vaccines, you should be protected. But what if your baby is too young to get their shots? KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson spoke with doctors.
If you have a baby under age 6 months, take steps to limit your baby's exposure. If you're breast or chest feeding, keep that up, though not a substitute for vaccination. Breastfeeding provides protective antibodies. Now, limiting a baby's exposure means washing your hands and making sure people around your baby or around your home also are up to date on their vaccination records.
2 of the recent measles cases in Washington state have infected babies. Now to traffic, brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Some slow going on I-405 South near the I-90 interchange in the Factoria Bellevue area. And we're seeing some red on I-5 South in downtown Seattle. Travel time, Seattle to Federal Way, 43 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, 36 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 42 minutes. Discover a new invention in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Call now for a free consultation or visit homecomfortalliance.com today. Weather report now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Currently cloudy with some sun breaks, 58 degrees in Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We got a ton of text messages to get to. A lot of messages from YouTube chat, a lot of messages from the text line. Thank you guys so much. Tons of fun today. Let's jump right into it. Laura, go for it.
On the teens who stole condoms during an armed robbery, Joey says they could have just ordered them off Amazon.
Yeah, but you got to pay.
That's true.
And you got to do it on your Family Prime account.
Oh, that's true. Then your mom's going to see what you're ordering. Ugh. Uncomfortable.
Ron says, Ron here. Back in the day, my father bought my brother and I both condoms, put them in our wallets, and mine rotted. I think 10 years later, I found my wallet in the dust. I don't mean to laugh at your poor, lonely adolescence, but yeah.
That's hilarious. What is that, a silver dollar impression in your wallet? That's cool. Let me see that silver
Apple
dollar.
tracker you got in there? What do you got in there?
All right, 253 on sex ed for fifth graders. A lot of people thought I was quite a prude, that I didn't want my kids to get sex ed in fifth grade. 253 says, my fifth grader just got done with the sex ed thing. They just tell them the basics, which she already knew. We live on a farm. That's true. If you live on a farm,
what a gift.
Listen, you're seeing everything. You're seeing it all 10 different ways. Yep. Absolutely.
425 says the other kids are going to tell Jake's, and it will be far less mature.
That is a problem that we're trying to figure out. How do you keep, and you can't.
No.
You can't.
Yeah, thank you for you.
You can't, but how do you keep
You
your
install a listening device on their phone. And
my
then,
kids won't have phones.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So maybe like a little Bluetooth ear pod and you just go, stop, walk away.
Walk away. Do not listen to this disgusting thing. I don't know. That's something you can't fix. You just got to hope that they pick the right friends who also just keep their mouths shut. Nick in Snow Coast says, common sex ed has always been fifth grade. I'm a 97 grad. Boyfriends and girlfriends start around sixth grade. That's too young, Nick. I don't know where you're growing up, but that's...
girlfriend in sixth grade.
Huh?
I had a girlfriend in sixth grade. Yeah.
Boyfriends and girlfriends start around sixth grade?
Yeah.
Sex ed? You need sex ed for your sixth grade
No,
girlfriend?
trust me, that was wishful thinking on the school's part, I guess. But you know what, though? Give kids, that's like Laura said, man, your body starts to change. You get maturity, a little puberty starts to set in. You want to give them guidelines, some boundaries at least. Consequences.
No, I'm happy to let parents do all that.
Jason in Renton says, my fifth grade sex ed, they asked if we knew how to use a condom and asked how we learned. I answered that the instructions are inside the package. My parents got a call that day.
Because I can read. You taught me how to read. What'd you think I was going to do with it? I'm going to read instructions.
Sharon, the Scrabble savant, says fifth grade is not insane. Apparently, I'm just like a real sheltered person. Listen to Sharon. Fifth grade is not insane. I had makeout sessions as a sixth grader, and I was a good girl, quote, good girl, who really liked boys. Good for you, Sharon. Good for you.
All right.
You pervert.
On Sailing Around the World, Pam in Port Townsend says, I worked at the Fort Worden front desk in its heyday. One day, a guy, skinny, wrinkled, in bike shorts, 80 years old, walked up to the desk asking for a camp spot. He had relatives in New York. He had sold everything, sailed from Britain to New York, and biked across the U.S. with stops in Canada. I assume he started when he was 50 and ended up looking like he did.
Wow, that's a long way. That's a long way to sail.
Sailed the oceans and biked across the country?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Forrest Gump. 206 says, I would enjoy getting in my car and driving across the country, but I couldn't be in a sailboat for a month on the ocean. Confined to a small space like that, no way to escape, total claustrophobia. I
agree. The interior of a small little Catalina or something might feel tight. However, there's also something very romantic about the idea of being on a sailboat. It's like Truman Show. Remember that shot in Truman Show when Jim Carrey's just sailing out into the great unknown?
Yep.
It's just him and his wits. You're sitting on the deck of that sailboat.
Right.
You got nothing but the sky covering you,
right.
Or in his case, a dome that was actually a movie set.
It looked like the sky. But I can imagine the feeling of claustrophobia in a small sailboat, but step up on deck and literally as far as the eye can see in every direction.
The stars.
The
oh my
heavens
gosh.
above. Yeah.
Goodfellas says,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Goodfellas says, good for this guy and his feline matey. My brother wanted to sail to Hawaii, but his wife saw that TV movie Overboard, and it was so depressing, she said, no way. He stuck to the waters here in Lake Superior, and after a few storms, agreed that his wife was probably right.
Overboard? Are you talking about the Melanie Griffith movie or the
Goldie Hawn,
Kurt Russell?
That can't be no.
That can't be what he's talking about. He must have it wrong. That's a delightful movie. That would encourage you to be on a boat.
The
she
remake
finds her
wasn't
husband.
so much, but the original was brilliant.
The original, fantastic.
That's how they met, right? They met on the set of making that movie.
I don't know
Goldie
that they met on the set. That would make sense.
I think they did. Maybe
they
it's
have
urban
incredible
legend.
Sexual chemistry. And they've been together for how long?
40 years.
Unbelievable.
I want to venture to guess. 40 years.
That's crazy. Who has the best, quick side note, who do you think has the best on-screen chemistry? Two actors who has the best on-screen chemistry. They're right up at the top of the list.
They're at the top. Tracy and Hepburn for me. Spence Tracy, Catherine Hepburn.
A while back, but
right?
yeah.
I would have to say Goldie and Kurt Russell, obviously. And was Moonlighting?
Oh, what's his face? Die Hard.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis and Sybil
Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd.
Oh, great chemistry.
Laura, who do you think's got good chemistry?
I loved Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds in Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's
Brilliant.
great.
Yeah.
They're both very good.
Although I did always fast forward through that scene where he sings to her on the soundstage because I thought
Really?
it was slow and boring.
But now as an adult, you go,
But now
oh,
as an
that's
adult,
romantic
I shed a
as
little
heck.
tear.
Yeah, that's nice. For me, it's Donnie and Marie.
So Kevin from Paulsbo says, Jake, loved your story about the trailer. My son talked to his wife and 3 kids that are going across country, never owned a truck, never owned a trailer, but they bought both, ended up doing 22,000 miles across the country and had a great time. I couldn't believe.
Good for them.
If that's stepping way out of your box. Good for you, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, that's all for the text that we have time for. We got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I can tell you about this Office reboot. I love The Office. It's one of my favorite shows. We reference it all the time on the show.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous that they're not going to get it right. It's going to be horrible.
Oh.
They've tried spin-offs from The Office before, and it did not work. I don't know if you knew this.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they
it
tried.
didn't work.
They tried one. It didn't happen.
Wow, okay.
We'll tell you a little bit about this one. They've got some good actors in it, so hopefully it's going to be good. But we'll talk about it next. Stick around.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Rierecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
If it's time for a new bath, go with a name you can trust, Bathfitter Northwest. Bathfitter is the original one-day bath remodeler, and right now they're offering 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Call Bathfitter today.
As we age, the home can become an unsafe place, but at Care Partners Senior Living, help is always nearby. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, so you can participate in activities whenever you like and socialize at your own pace. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
Welcome back to the show. This, of course, is the theme song to the famous The Office. It's the American version of The Office, which is kind of its own thing. It's different than the British version.
Yeah, stands on its own.
200-something episodes.
No kidding.
Amazing run. Probably one of the most successful sitcoms of all time. Definitely I would say definitely in the top 5 of all sitcoms.
That's.
Yeah. Would you not agree with that?
I'm of a different era. So
give me your number 1 sitcom of all time.
Oh, All in the Family.
Really?
Yeah, for me, easy.
Yeah. Easy. Give me your number 2.
Oh, sitcoms, probably Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
MASH follows that.
I could never get past the theme song of MASH. It depressed me too much.
Suicide is Painless. That's tough.
What kind of a comedy has a theme song with the word suicide in it?
That was actually performed in the original movie, I believe.
Yeah. I know. It's just like, it's so depressing.
Yeah, and it is. It's a horribly depressing number. But
Can't do it.
That's why they didn't sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
In the opening of MASH, because most great theme songs have good lyrics.
Good lyrics.
Right? Welcome Back, Kotter. Boom, boom, boom.
Or no lyrics.
But when you have Suicide is Painless as your lyric, you go to the instrumental.
Well, The Office, I'd say
it's a brilliant show. Again,
for me, my number one
thing,
and it was my era.
Yeah.
For me, my number 1 TV comedy of all time would be the American The Office, and I don't know TV character wise if you could find a better comedy TV character than Steve Carell's Michael Scott.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He's way up there. Super funny dude.
What is wrong with these people? They have no willpower. I once went 28 years without having sex. And then again for 7 years.
And then it's crediting it to willpower.
It's the best. It's willpower. That's why.
A lot of times it's always great writing.
Yeah.
But when you get a character like that and an actor like Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Who just...
He's special.
Yeah, he's special.
That's what made that show so great, because at the same time that you were disgusted by him, you were also rooting for him, because he was like the humanity he brought to the character. He actually was like... There were so many redeeming things about him, even though he was ridiculous and he was like, thought that the documentary
his heart
crew
was in the right place.
Exactly.
You
You saw his heart. All right, so there is an official log line now for the new spinoff for The Office, which is called The Paper. So the original show kind of actually almost killed the genre itself, but like the documentary film genre of like, we're going to film this as if there's a documentary crew there. That was the filming style of The Office.
Yeah. Parks and Rec echoed that.
Parks and Rec, same thing. So The Office was filmed that style. So the premise of The Office was a documentary film crew goes to a small, tiny town and films a Midwestern paper supply company.
Right.
And not Midwestern. I think they were in
Scranton, PA.
Yeah.
My mom's
mid-sized
hometown.
paper supply company.
Small town America.
So now the same documentary crew that filmed the Dunder Mifflin, this is the official logline. The documentary crew that immortalized Dunder Mifflin's Scranton branch is in search of a new subject when they discover a historic Midwestern newspaper and the publisher trying to revive it. So it's going to be set in a newsroom of a small, tiny, which is a good premise. I think it's good. They've got some good people in it. Oscar Nunez, who played Oscar in the original Office, is going to be in this. Since leaving Scranton, he has now moved to this tiny little town where he is now an accountant at this newspaper.
Okay, great.
Dommel, it's spelled Dommel, but I think it's pronounced Donald. Donald Gleason, who's a fantastic British actor.
Brilliant guy.
Brilliant guy.
Yep.
He's going to be one of the main characters. He plays an idealistic new hire at the company.
He's Irish.
He's Irish.
Oh, he's Irish.
It's Donald.
Donald Gleason.
Donald Gleason.
Okay.
Brendan Gleason's his dad.
Yes,
Great actor.
yes.
Both great actors. So yeah, that's going to be where it's set, and we'll see if it's successful. I don't know that it will be, but I hope they have great success. They've tried spinoffs before. I don't know if you remember this, but during the original run of The Office, do you remember there was a whole side story about Dwight Schrute having a beet farm?
Yes.
They thought that was going to be like such a wild and funny place and filled with crazy characters. He had like a cousin Mose. He had all these friends. So they actually filmed an episode of The Office, and you might remember this if you watch the show. Lauren, you watch The Office, right?
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember an episode where they went and spent like an entire day out of an entire episode out with Dwight and the people on the farm?
Yes.
It's
like a horror movie almost.
It is, but it was called. They call it a backdoor pilot, and what they were trying to do is introduce the idea to see what the audience's reaction was to it. Wasn't great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't end up working.
But there's a lot of merch now for the beet farm. I think that all spawned from that episode.
That makes sense.
That's great.
That makes total sense.
That's when you know a show's really, really, really good. People wear merch. We got Pawnee, Indiana swag at my house from Parks and Rec. Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh, you bet.
Parks and Rec makes my list of like best sitcoms.
I got Ron Swanson's Pyramid of Greatness.
Do you
at
really?
home. You bet I do, man.
Is it all meat?
It's on there twice.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's the greatest.
This is, I think, my favorite episode of The Office ever is the dinner party. Do you guys remember the dinner party?
Yes.
That's the one that won an Emmy, right?
I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the entire rest of the show takes place in the office. I mean, it's the name of the show. But like this, for this very specific episode, we get this nightmarish peek behind the scenes of what Michael's life looks like with Jan. And they're at his house, and it's just the funniest thing in the world.
And this is my workspace.
This is it. Check that out. You smell it?
Uh-huh.
As you can smell, there's a lot of different odors going on in here.
So you have an office and a workspace. I do. You know, I cannot create in the same space that I conduct business. I'm sure that you're the same with your doodles. Smell.
It's fire.
Uh-huh, bonfire.
Bond.
Then love this one.
James Bonfire.
Yeah.
I am Bonfire. James Bonfire. Michael Scott.
I get frustrated or irritated or angry, I come up here and I just smell all my candles. And it just poof goes away.
Smell all my candles. It's also the infamous vasectomy clip.
Just like always, whatever you want.
Whatever I want. It's never whatever I want. When I said that I wanted to have kids and you said that you wanted me to have a vasectomy, what did I do? When you said that you might want to have kids and I wasn't so sure, who had the vasectomy reversed? And then when you said you definitely didn't want to have kids, who had it reversed back? Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. You've no idea the physical toll that 3 vasectomies have on a person.
If it can deliver lines like that and care, then I'm excited for it. I hope it does well.
I hope so. How much of that you think was improv? How much do you think it was writing for Steve Carell?
I honestly believe, I think that the writing on that show was so good
Stellar.
consistently
Yeah.
for all the characters.
Yeah.
I don't think he improvised a ton.
Interesting.
Would be my guess. I don't know that because he's a brilliant.
He's
just brilliant.
Yeah, he really is.
He's a very special guy. All right. I hope you guys had a great day today. We had a blast. Thank you so much for participating on the YouTube live chat. Also sending us all those great text messages. We got a great show coming up for tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day. Snip, snap, snip, snap.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey live in Linwood.
A bunch of tall trees in a wooded area just off of Alderwood Mall Parkway.
And we thank you.
We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie? EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
It's Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, here to tell you the right way to choose a roofer. And it's not by choosing the lowest bid. Just comparing numbers? Terrible idea. A low price doesn't tell you if the job will be done right, and it definitely doesn't tell you anything about the contractor. Instead, treat hiring a roofer like a job interview. Ask them, why did my old roof fail early? What's the right solution for me, and why? Have you been around for at least 10 years? A new roof is a huge investment, and the job shouldn't go to the lowest bidder. It should go to the most qualified. At RoofSmart, we've got over a decade of experience, a team of more than 50 full-time pros, and real answers, not just numbers. Plus, we're certified, insured, and properly licensed. We'd love to apply for your roofing job. Call 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Hey, I want to tell you a sellwithwes.com success story. Wes Jones knows how important your home sale can be for your future plans. So when he got a call from Susan in Federal Way, he was eager to step up and help her sell her home of 25 years.
Her house was her biggest asset, and this home sale was super meaningful for her. So she's like, I know that I'm leaving money on the table in the condition that it's in. Like, what can we do?
I told him up front that I did not have the time or finances to do what needed to be done. And he immediately jumped in with, well, I do.
He told her about their Listing Boost concierge service.
We identified probably 4 or 5 major things.
It just was all so fast. They did everything.
I'm a son of a builder, and I've done a lot of flips over the years. So this is work that we actually like to do. We are seeking this out.
And I would just tell anybody, here's his phone number, give him a call. He'll take care of it.
So if you're in the market to sell your home, do what Susan did. Check out Wes Jones and his team at sellwithwes.com. Sell with Wes, a better way to sell your home.
You know that cartoon of the three-eyed fish swimming in polluted water next to a nuclear power plant?
Yeah, classic.
I used to think that was real, but I just learned that nuclear energy waste isn't some glowing green goo. It's actually used fuel rods from nuclear reactors that made electricity.
Wait, so no barrels of leaking sludge?
No, solid used fuel rods are safely stored at all the nuclear power plants in the U.S., including the one in Richland.
So the cartoon fish isn't real?
Not even close. Learn the facts about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. weekdays.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Texas is bracing for a heat wave.
This is the type of heat we generally don't start seeing until July. It's unwelcome and it's unwanted, but it's here.
Austin Mayor Kirk Watson, meteorologist Craig Allen is tracking.
There is a remarkable heat dome that is developing across the